Number one, also, by the way, I love the town halls that you do. I know I think I messaged you a while about it, but it's something that I really do not understand why Tarkov's community managers don't do. I understand they would get a lot of shit. Like the guy on C-SPAN that like gets, whoever wants to call in and talk about political crap on the internet on the
Yeah.
news. But
Right.
the opinions would get out there, and PSG could say, "Yeah, we heard them. We heard you call us every racial slur under the sun. What, you want to give us actual critical feedback now?"
Right.
So,
No, I appreciate that, man. They can be good. Sometimes they're a little dry. Like this last one, just sometimes the topics are almost too unanimous. Where it's like there's nothing worth saying, right? Like almost everyone was just like, yeah, this, the cheating video was a good thing to have, but that's okay. I mean, there have been some good ones. We asked for people's hot takes on one of them, and that was rough. I didn't realize there were that many idiots. Some of them weren't hot takes; they were just dumb. it was like there were ones that were like they wanted gear based matchmaking. So it's like if I wear a slick, I should only be put with people who have slicks. And I was like, it's not going to fix your issue. You're just going to have a bunch of streamers, level 70s, pistol running with you. Like, there's no difference. You're still going to have the same experience, man.
right. And I'm, oh God.
It's like saying you want skill based matchmaking in DayZ. Like, that's not the game. It's not a competitive shooter. In Arena, I would hope there's some sort of ranked, right? But
yeah,
I get why they want it, but
I just recently got into DayZ, by the way.
it's a good game.
That's a good game. Me and my Tarkov duo dumped like 17 hours over a weekend into it, and oh my God, yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful moment if I can figure out how to make the clip work. But he butchered a goat, forgot he was carrying a bunch of raw meat on him, and then we walked into the wolf and bear infested woods in Livonia. And we're wondering why we were getting hunted by wolf packs. And I'm just like, I couldn't figure it out. And then when we logged off and logged back in, he's like, "Oh, I got all this goat meat on me still." And I'm like, "Oh, God damn it." Just, but yeah, no, that's been fun because before Tarkov, my big boy game was Arma. And yeah, DayZ seemed like a natural fit, but I played the old Arma 2 DayZ, and it just left a very bad taste in my mouth. So I never gave the standalone a try until literally like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Damn, that's actually, yeah. I mean, it's changed a lot, but
oh, it's beautiful, and the engine's beautiful, and I feel really sorry for Battle State in the future and a lot of developers, because I really think Arma 4 is gonna just put them all to shame.
Yeah, that is it the Reforger engine? Is that the new one? Is that what it's called, or is that just the Arma game name? I can't remember.
That's the game name. The engine is called Infusion.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Which is, I saw some of the behind the scenes stuff for what they're doing with it, and specifically with AI. Like building a Tarkov match in Arma, like you can almost do it in Arma 3 right now, and you can definitely do it in Reforger, but oh my God, it'll be light years ahead. And I mean, the gunplay it's not quite there with Tarkov. I think Tarkov's Mac Daddy, and it's going to be a long time till Ready or Not maybe is the only one that's given it a run for its money for gunplay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had a chance to delve into that at all.
Yeah, I've played some of it. It's good. It's just I struggle with games that aren't PvP. Like because like the AI, it doesn't matter how smart they are, you'll never be a human. You know what I mean? And I know that Arma's got, or not Arma. What was the game we were just talking about? Ready or Not's got some really cool AI that do really cool things, but I don't feel smart outsmarting them. Whereas like when I do laps around a 5 stack in Tarkov and bring them down as a solo, that's when I'm like, oh yeah, like that felt good, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
wait, have we started? Am I not? Am
Oh,
I?
we're starting. Yeah, we're already in
Oh,
it. Yeah, no.
oh,
Yeah,
oh.
it's
Okay.
just a natural. So like Joe Rogan
No,
podcast is the one that could come to mind. It starts a conversation. That's
yeah, no. I just didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know when we kicked it off.
well,
Because
here
I thought you said you had to do an intro.
you're exactly right. And this seems like a great time to do it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Welcome to FtBFtL, Fear to Burn and Friends to Learn, a talk show where gamers discuss the tactical genre, including gaming philosophy, concepts, systems, bugs, cheats, content creation, and more. We're your hosts, FearJBaller and Rectorol. We hope you'll join us on our journeys to understand better and improve while preserving our favorite genre. We're joined today by our guest, Shouldaville, somebody that most of anybody watching us should understand, but if you don't, he makes Tarkov shorts mainly on YouTube, and he's a bit. I guess the easiest way to put it is he's an asshole, and but that's Tarkov. So welcome to Tarkov. Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to Shouldaville. Shouldaville. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Now, I wouldn't say I'm an asshole. I would say that I don't believe in morality in video games. And some people really do. Some people, it's a 1-to-1 who you are in a game and how you act. I forget those comments all the time that are like, you must be a real dick in real life. You must be a horrible person. It's like, yeah, man, I beat my wife, I kick puppies, and I stab babies. Like, yeah, because I also shoot people in real life too, just like I do in video games. Like, you goofballs.
Wait, do you not loot at your job? Like, how do I just loot?
Right.
You don't pay for anything. You just gotta loot. Get away.
Exactly. It's silly. I find that very silly, and so I enjoy exploiting it. It's reactionary, and people just don't. I don't know. I don't know why they react the way they do. It's the internet, and people. It's just silly.
Well, it's funny because so in college, and I got a lot of shame when I wrote this paper, and it's one of the reasons I actually dropped out of college in pursuit of more technical degrees. I read a book and wrote a kind of paper around it on gaming philosophy. Someone wrote a book. I don't remember the author, but it's specifically on Halo Combat Evolved and player philosophy in it. So like, the efficacies of spawn camping versus the efficacies of like a fair fight and stuff like that. I agree there's a time and place. I think Tarkov, like public servers, no holds bar. I expect the shittiest and scummiest plays possible. Now, I want to try to play the White Knight sometimes. It gets me killed a lot in Tarkov where I'm like, I'm going to be the good guy. I'm going to play tactical. We're going to play it like a SWAT team. We're going to get killed by the chat abusing sound, but I don't care. We're going to have fun dying. But the team that we run into that's also looking for a fair fight, then it's a beauty. Fear got to experience me going shitty PvP when we played together like a month ago or so, where I showed him how just audio baiting just immediate pulls people.
That was fun.
It was great. If you want to describe your perspective.
Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff. I just, I come from like PUBG or Call of Duty. I just shoot people, So we're on woods, and I'm like, oh, I hear a guy, I hear footsteps, and instantly he stomps on over and just quips, just presses F1, and the guy just looks up and stops running, and like in the middle of the open, looking at a mountain, and I kill him. I just thought it was the funniest fucking thing, I don't do that kind of stuff. So to me, it's very funny. One thing that a couple of days ago we were playing on streets, and of course we have to get the medical stuff inside that garage where the next to like Lexus dealership.
Yes, yeah, that I hated that task.
Yeah, somebody was camping in there, or not camping there, but he was sitting in there like trying to do his quest, and it was like 3 of us and like 1 of him, and he was just like, "Hey man, you cool? You're cool?" And I'm like, "Are we cool? I don't know, guys. Like, what should we do?" and he's like, he's just like, it's like a couple minutes go by. My buddy's like, fuck this. He runs up and goes, hey man, we're cool, man. Where are you at? He goes, are you in the garage? He goes, yeah, I'm in here. He's all right, thank you. And he's like, throws a grenade. I'm like, that's something Shouldaville would have done. That's it's funny when you see it. You know, it's fucked up because you know you're like lying kind of, but it's it's a fucking video game. It's funny, and when you get to see it from that perspective, it's really fun.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, being a troll lord is, I it's very. Were you ever somebody that, like, out of curiosity, when you played video games, did you play video games like back in the day, like Battlefield 1942, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you ever one of the ones land mining main bases?
Honestly, no. Like, this is a pretty new. I would probably say in the past, like, I don't know, couple years, ever since I started playing DayZ, just because DayZ's full of people like that, right? Like, that game's been around for so long, and there's such a like, the community is just expecting that stuff, right? Because you have it from all the way back from Arma 2 and the mod. People are used to betrayals, the heroes, the bandits, right? Like, that whole game was what Tarkov is just now becoming. So it's just now shocking in Tarkov to be the bad guy. Back in DayZ, like nowadays, it's not shocking at all. You get people who backstab you all the time, right? You know, you play with them for hours and hours, and then they shoot you in the back of the head, and you're like, holy shit, like, I just spent 5 hours of my life with a snake.
It happened to me once.
It's just it's different. And so Tarkov's just in that, they're just now experiencing that.
I'll never forget Arthur for that. I always live in my head rent free. He ran off into the darkness butt naked. Remember my name, Arthur? Never saw him again.
What?
Dude,
I actually have so with DayZ, when you're looking at the betrayals in that, because I was kind of trolling through other people's videos, seeing, like, reading comments and reactions, and trying, because I'm in the bits of getting into DayZ content, but for betrayals, from my understanding with DayZ, they gotta be a juicy betrayal to make it worth it. Like, if you do the quick betrayal, you're looked at as a piece of shit. But if you're the person that does, like, the 4-hour long con betrayal, like, you're a piece of shit, but it's a different, like, respect, like, villain mindset. Is that okay? Is that, I'm getting okay.
It's sometimes it's both, right? You see the guy coming up to you, he clearly needs help, he's bleeding out, right? And you're like, oh my goodness, come here, dude. You just use that very calming tone, you're very kind to them, and then as soon as they come over and trust you, you blap them. But it's just like, I don't know, man. I guess for me, it's video games. It doesn't matter, right? It's just, the whole point is relax, man. It's a game.
And you do have a calming tone too. I'll give you that. Your voice is very calming.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
a couple people have
pull
said
that
that
off
in raid, and then I shoot them.
And then you shoot them in the face. Yeah, that's. I think that's like.
Oh, the face. No, the back.
The back. Yeah. Sorry. My apologies. I mean to disrespect you.
It's fine.
No. Like, I feel like that hits your content even better. You can tell that, like, it's not going to happen, and then when it does, it's like, fuck, this guy's a dick, but I love it. Which brings me back to my, like, not brings me back, but just one of my favorite, like, little series you've done, and it's my fucking favorite of all time, is how to tell, like, you're not playing Tarkov like a man.
Yeah,
dude, it was just, I don't know why, the point that you hit the hardest for me was when you have, I can't remember the way you described it, but when someone has Discord open on a second monitor so they can see their gameplay. Yeah. Like, dude, I fucking was like tearing. I was laughing so fucking hard because the amount of times, I don't have a second monitor. I just have like 2 monitors for 2 different computers. And my buddy's like, you didn't see what I was doing? I'm like, I don't have a second monitor. Just like call it out. Stop being a wimp, And like, it's just the amount of times people are like, dude, share your screen.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to share your screen?
Share screen?
I'm like, do you want to play? Like, no, I don't want to play, but you want to share screen? I'm like, no.
Oh.
So, dude, that shit hit me just so fucking hard in the stomach. I was laughing for like 10 minutes, man. I appreciate those so much.
I need to go watch those because they sound like a blast, and I don't remember seeing them.
Some of my favorite shorts you've ever done, honestly.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
they're fun.
Really,
they just, I don't want to overdo them. It's one of those that, like, I enjoy making them, but if it's, we all have those creators we've watched where they get the hit series, and then they're every single video for
They
the
run into the
next like
ground.
year, dude. Yes. It's like some things are nice just because they're you just get little nibbles, right? You get a taste, and that's fun.
I've done that before. Yeah, I've noticed that with like stuff that I've tried to do inside of content. You know, I've made a clip called like Tarkov is an easy game. And now it's just me like finding a GPU and a marked room key like back to back in the same room in customs. And if I tried that again, it's not going to pop off the way that one did. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
like we saw that once, we get it,
right?
You know. And a lot of people, they try to base their content off of that, and it's tough because you feel like, damn, I did something really good. This has to be like my in. And it's never really the truth. It's just YouTube hits you one time really good, but you have to find stuff. Like you do stuff really well to where it's, you have those ends and you have those like mini little series inside of your content, but all of your stuff is not the same. It's really not, but it feels like it's like you have your brand, you know, but it isn't like the same thing being shoved down the person's face. It's like when I come to you, I expect like trolly, goofy stuff, but like at a high level, and you know what I mean? And it's always, there's always a good bit of variety in there, and that's why I always appreciate watching your stuff. Like I could watch someone and be like, ugh, like I know what that guy's trying to do. It's gross. It's just like,
yeah,
okay,
it would be weird
videos.
if I started doing new player guides. You know, super cheery, like, "What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Like, I'm gonna walk you through how to play Tarkov." It's like, nah, man, if you're new, go fuck yourself. Get out of my channel.
By the way, I noticed 95% of you aren't subscribed when you watch this video.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I get why they do that, and I can tell. I just, you know, there's so many people doing it that when I see someone else do it, I'm like, I know why you're doing it, and it's like, it's not, you're not adding anything to like what you really want to achieve. And when I see you, I'm like, damn, he's found his spot and he's just holding it down, and I love it.
Oh yeah,
no, I appreciate that.
It's dope as shit. Which I think actually is a good segue into bringing up what the main topic of today's video is about, or today's podcast, I should say, what today's podcast is about, which is what separates a good game and a good game developer from a bad game and a bad game developer. And I think the first thing to do that is going to Rhetoric 101, which is defining terms and what a good game is and what a bad game is. So what good game defines to you. And you guys already brought up something earlier, which I thought was interesting, which is that only PvP games can hold your attention. And I'm guessing because of the way you phrased it, Shouldaville, it's mainly for both of you the challenge element. So is there any challenge element in a PvE game that has like kept you, like, bringing you back to it at all? Even if for a short period? Like it's one of those games where it's your summer vacation home PvE game. Like for me, it's Mountain Blade Bannerlord would be it. You know, it's PvE, but it's fun and challenging to a degree.
Yeah, no fear. If you want to start with this one, I don't want to.
Me? No, I can't. I try. I tried to play different kinds of games, but I always come back to PvP. Like I need to know I'm killing a human, that I outsmarted someone that isn't pre-written.
Somebody clip that. Can we save that soundbite?
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I've tried, like, you know, Ghost Recon. It's really fun to like sneak in, turn off the HUD, make the AI really smart, as smart as they can get, and just like try to eliminate the base without being seen. It's fun, but I can't do that 100 times in a row. Like I can just like PvP 100 times in a row, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm similar. I do like I enjoy PvE games. Like I was on the same train as everybody else, with like Elden Ring. Like I really enjoyed Elden Ring. But it's a different, for me, it's just different. The challenge itself is different. It's not, because like when I'm playing PvE games, everything that you see can be memorized, right? I especially in like a Scrolls game, or I'm not Scrolls, no, a Souls game, right? Every single boss has a specific move set. There is a upper bound and a lower bound of what they're gonna do. If you know that, you've won the fight. Like that's when you beat bosses in these games, is you have it memorized, you learn to outplay them, you know when to roll. It's challenging, but it's a different type of challenging. Whereas when you're playing a game that has PvP, or even like card games, right? Even if you're playing like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or Hearthstone, like there is more dynamic. There's more dynamicism to it, right? There's more critical thinking, and that's what I think for me makes a game. I can put 1,000 hours in it versus 100. Love Elden Ring, great game, but I couldn't keep fighting the same boss over and over. But I can keep fighting the same. I can keep doing the same raids in Tarkov because each player is going to play it just a little bit differently.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
100%.
No, it does.
Did you play a lot of like platformers growing up, like Mario, Link, stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, and I like those too. Like I just replayed, because the Metroid Prime just came out on the Switch, the remastered version. So I played that. Like I like those games a lot. They're very fun, but I put 10 hours into them, beat it, and go, cool, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, great experience.
Repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Like I like experiencing story games. I like experiencing PvP or PvE, but I don't do I don't enjoy MMOs because it's too much repetition, right? You want that one gear set so you kill the raid boss 5,000 times. Like I don't want to sit there.
Well, I will disagree with you as somebody who's ran PvE raid style groups, and that it is PvP in that it's drama PvP, so it's like Real Housewives level petty bullshit. So it's social PvP.
Worse.
It's much worse. There's
I want to be able to shoot them and they shut up.
I would never run a raid group ever again like that for that reason, because it's just if I have to hear one just 15-year-old kid bitch about it's his loot and he needs to get it, because if he doesn't get it he's gonna rage quit the guild and take everything. Well, I don't care. Leave then. Go. We're adults. Which I guess I tend to be a friendly player in PvP games, except when it's a kid. And then I just it's welcome to Tarkov Day. Like it's grenades and full cheese. I don't know why. It's just funny to kill kids in video games.
Clip that. But cut it off appropriately.
Yeah, it's fun to kill kids.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I love it.
So all right, so we could, I think, all agree challenge is like an aspect of a good game then.
Yeah, I mean, so we have like challenges. I mean, gameplay works, right? So gameplay, is the gameplay replayable?
Does it
mechanics is
well, hold on.
and audio.
Does a gameplay need to be replayable for a game to be good?
Depends on the game though. So if we're talking about, I guess, like story games, which are one-line driven, no, but I guess yes.
But I guess
PvP, yes.
Yeah, if we wanted to keep it in the tactical genre, I guess, which is what our cast is about.
Yeah, if I'm playing like BioShock or something, I mean, the gameplay has to be good, right? Because I'm not going to play more than an hour if it's bad.
Well, I would say like Ready or Not is a great example that I brought up earlier. SWAT 4 fits in the same vein, but SWAT 4 had PvP. Really fun PvP, because being able to pepperball people and like use beanbag shotguns when other people are using like full-on assault rifles is just hysterical, because they just can't do anything. And you don't kill them, by the way. I hope Tarkov gets something like this in the future. I really do, where you can just incapacitate people, but they're just breathing and coughing and can still walk around, but just not shoot their gun. And you just troll the living shit out of them.
Right.
Like a KS-23 flashbang gun?
Kinda, but you can, they still full auto spray.
No, I was gonna say, like, one thing that Tarkov has in terms of like what makes it a good game. This is the thing that makes it a bad game, is the way it teaches players how to do stuff, because it limits people coming into the game. For instance,
and I would say, real quick to jump in, it does not teach people. To your point, you have to rely on everything else.
And exactly. You have to rely on everything else, the community, content creators, and then you don't even have like consistent results within the game. So for instance, gun recoil. You pick up your first PMC, you go in, you put on your M4, and you go in and the gun shoots to the sky. But it's not too much to shoot to the sky, but it does. You're like, okay, cool, I have to pull down. And then you die, you lose your shit, and then you go to a scav. You get that busted up AK with like no stock and like no dust cover. It shoots, makes you do like a 360 backflip, and then it jams. So as a new player, you're like, what the hell do I do? There's no indication on how to be better, on how to improve, or how to like adjust for those situations. And so it's constantly those things for like hundreds of raids until you like watch a YouTube video. You put up with it and you learn. And I feel like that is the bad part of like what Tarkov is giving players.
I don't know if I ever told you this, Fear, but so I guess to tell it to both of you now, the way I approached Tarkov at first, I watched about 20 minutes of an Operator Drewski raid where he did like some weird raid on interchange, and I didn't understand it was interchange. I just remember it being an escalator fight. I then immediately bought Tarkov. I don't look up guides for games. I refused for the first 100 raids to look up a guide at all. I didn't look up a map. I didn't look up anything. Tarkov, and then I just didn't play it for months until I decided to start actually watching videos, because holy crap, and get a Sherpa. Echoing your point, it is.
I mean,
only game I've never been able to figure out.
The only reason why I got Tarkov, it was around Christmas. We just got into PC. Like I've been on controller my whole life. I didn't even know how to like walk straight or aim straight. And my buddy's cousin was like, "Yo, let's get this cool game." I'm like, "Oh, I've seen Dr. Lupo play it or something, and I don't know what it is. I just see him always in his inventory or just like always like loading bullets into mags. What is this?" So we play. We go to woods or whatever map with trees on it at the time. I don't remember. It could have been Shoreline of Woods, but we hear shooting. We see the wall. We go prone, and we just crawl in there. And that was my first raid. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. So that was my first experience. It was exciting, by the way, but that's all I know how to do. It's like I'm afraid. What about you, Shouldaville? Like, when did you get into Tarkov?
I think I got in the patch that Reserve was added. I started halfway through that wipe. And I was a Mosenling, obviously, because it's like early on, right? That's like all you do what's easiest, right? You do what's whatever. It's just learning the game. And what did I watch before? I think it was the same kind of thing. I'd seen some Drewski stuff because he used to run 5 stacks on interchange, and those I remember pretty vividly. Oh, duh. And then like you have Aqua FPS and General Sam putting out videos that are very fun. They're funny, and I'm like, well, dang, this looks great. I don't think, had I known how little was in game. I mean, good grief, like I know this is about communication, right? The fact that the game doesn't even communicate basic values, right? Like you don't even know what ammo does. I don't know ammo statistics in game. You have to go to a website hosted by data miners. Like that's ridiculous. I don't think. I think had I known how bad it was, I don't know if I would have started playing it, honestly, because it's hell. Yeah. It's awful.
I feel like it grew the community. I feel like it was an unintentional good thing, but now it's bad. Does that make sense? Because it grew like all these content creators, and it grew this kind of community to where all these things are like these little niche qualities of the game. But now it's just like we need tutorial for new players. It matters.
Yes, that's my critique, right? Is like when you're a small indie dev, you can get away with this stuff, right? When they first started, I'd say, hey, yeah, I mean, it's a tiny game. You have 2,000 concurrent players. If that, I get why you don't have a tutorial. You're just building out your game. But when you then have millions and millions in sales, hundreds of thousands, supposedly, like per their words, right? They peaked at 300,000 concurrent players. Take that as you will, right? Some people, say that's bullshit. I don't care. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying if that's what you say you have,
give us a tutorial.
Yeah, you don't have an excuse anymore. There's some of these like basic in-game communication that need to go to the players.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I'm surprised there are 300,000 computers that can run Tarkov at the same time.
Yeah, well, not anymore. He said it's 70 to 150 now is his new estimate. But
you can see they're in damage control mode. This is going to come out in like a month.
Dude, 70 to 150,000 is still a fuck ton of gamers.
Still, I think isn't it still top 1% if you are looking at Steam charts?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's more than COD. That's like it's more than most games, honestly. I think most games are hitting above 20. If you're lucky to hit 20, it's a success.
Yeah,
like 20K.
Which is it's sad how with the cash revenue, like they have an insane revenue. Yeah, they have an insane revenue. Like they have to.
But do they? Here's the thing. So I work in like my field, broadly speaking, does involve finance. They have a stagnant product that does not continue to make money, right? Because the only form of sales, I'm going to exclude merch, right? That's got to be like pennies. Not everybody's buying a $150 Killa helmet, you know?
Yeah.
That's such a small, that's an insignificant number. But how many copies are they honestly selling week to week? There's no microtransactions. There's no, they only have the one revenue stream. I've been on a standard account for the past 4 years.
There's a lot of people like you too.
$30.
Yeah.
I have 5,000 hours in the game, but I paid $30 for it. I'm not adding to their revenue. I'm just sucking down their server costs, you know?
Yeah. Well, Tiggs talks about a little thing about that too.
So server, I agree with let me rephrase what I said. They had an initial large revenue stream coming in as the game was exploding in popularity. The problem is now the game is getting backlash, and so they're probably not getting sales like they used to. Because especially mid-wipe, I don't know if you ever... I don't know if you're one of the people who plays mainly just early wipe and records all of it and then goes on. But like mid-wipe play, it's a lot of Timmies that come in. Like, because their Chad buddies are geared up and they're like, hey, come on and play. All the Chads, all the, wiper Chads left. And it's just, it's just rats left. Those, I think they're going to lose sales with those people because we're hitting that point in the wipe where I think they would be expecting those people to come in. But now you have videos like goats and reactions to them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
That, but.
Yeah, I mean, I know this isn't a Tarkov podcast, right? Like I could talk, like I've got a lot of thoughts and opinions on Battle State and the way they do things and their future of the game.
Yeah, let's hear about it. I'm interested.
I mean, very broadly speaking, I think that's why, there was one of the responses on Reddit in his Q&A that Nikita did. So he's the COO. He's like the chief operating officer. Yeah, but he's also the head of PR, and he's also like he does everything. He is the Tarkov guy, and he's the most involved COO I've ever seen in the company ever in my life. And he had put out a comment saying, somebody was saying like, hey, what are you gonna do about all these there's so many features, there's so many, basically there's so much to do. And he said in the Reddit thread, he's like, there are no major changes planned, like game changes planned before release, which reinforces my kind of opinion on what they're doing, because I think they're starting to get strapped for cash. I think that's why we've seen Arena get pushed so quickly, and like they're rushing it. That's why I feel like we saw Lighthouse rushed, right? That map went gray box to release in under 6 months, which is unprecedented for Tarkov maps, and that's why it ran at 10 FPS when it came out.
True.
Same thing for Streets. It seems like it was not quite ready, right? Like nothing was really working if either of you were playing on it at all. Like at the very first couple, month or two, it was just rough. Really rough.
Lighthouse, I didn't play the first wipe it came out. I did 1 or 2 raids. It gave me a headache. I couldn't do it. Streets, legitimately for the first month, I got to play maybe once or twice on it, and I was getting 20 FPS. And then for like 3 weeks, I couldn't even load into the map. The game would crash.
Yep. I mean, here's the thing. You're not alone. People were blue screening. If you have a game that's blue screening PCs, or you have the, room temperature IQ Redditors who are like, just get 32 gigabytes of RAM.
God, don't get me started on that shit.
What?
Oh my God.
In 2023.
Oh my God.
It's a quick Google search away. I mean,
why don't you just spend money? Did you turn your PC upside down? Did you put it in the bathtub with you when you were taking a bath? It works.
But my point is more like, I think we're seeing them. I personally believe Tarkov is going to rush to 1.0 end of this year or next. They're going to slap the 1.0. They're going to pull a Daisy. They're going to have an unfinished game, slap 1.0 on it, and then they're going to split their dev team so they can go work on the single player game that they wanted to make.
Yeah, the Russia 20. That's part of my fear with Tarkov is it's always been a side project, and there was a person.
It was never supposed to be big.
There was somebody's comment that kind of blew up. I think it was in the Reddit Q&A. It might have been somewhere else, but it might have been on Twitter, where like you should just sell the Tarkov IP or like the Escape from Tarkov game to fund Russia 2028. A developer will buy this from you, and I don't necessarily want that, but I kind of I don't, and this I guess leads in. It's a great tie-in. I
I'll take some skins from Ragman.
Yeah,
Dude, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yes. Give me the minimalist cosmetics.
Dude,
I mean,
please,
here's the thing.
man. I love
Dude,
skins.
have you seen the SP Tarkov, like the mod?
Yeah.
The single player mod. Okay.
Mhm.
They've been modding in all these crazy skins, like not even crazy, just like cool, right? Like you have special forces, the blacked out with like the padded
Yeah.
chest, like
Yeah.
you have like SWAT uniforms, just stuff that like they make it look like it fits Tarkov.
Yeah.
And holy dude, I'd drop some fat cash for some of those. I tell you what.
It's dumb, and it's dumb to say that because I feel the same way. Like I hate to admit that I buy virtual clothes, but it's like I like just looking at like things that I have achieved and like small things like a weapon charm. That's cool to me. I just like to look at it. I know people say, "Well, painting on the gun's dumb." I'm like, then let me like give me like give me fake etching so I can like etch fuck in the side of my gun or something.
I mean, I would
but
also
it's
slap, big old anime titties on the side of my gun. I don't give a damn at this
Right?
point.
Yeah.
Just let me do what I want to do.
Just let me do. Yeah, just give me some customability. Yeah, give me some
side. Make it client side. If you don't want to see, turn it off like void. It's so easy. It's quick. It's a tick mark, man.
Dude, I love that. Yes.
So have you guys ever?
I just want to see it.
Have you guys ever played MechWarrior Online?
No.
Okay, so they actually have exactly what you're talking about. They have a cockpit of your MechWarrior, and like everything in the cockpit, you can put bobbleheads and all, like, because it's just you're walking around a big stoppy mech all day. You got to want to look at shit. So you can cosmetic it, and you can buy and get cosmetics from achievements. And this is how you deck out your cockpit and make it your own. But when people load into your cockpit, they don't like they can see it, but it's like your what do you call it? They like spectate your view. But it's like Call of Duty stuff, like where you have your banner tag and your dog tag, and it's like, hey, these are my actual achievements. And I'd love to have that in Tarkov. I'd love to be able to like make an armband out of dog tags because hey, you have 1,000 dog tags.
Yep, and they already have that model in the game too. They have it with one of the new bosses that I can't find.
No, they increased their spawn chance.
Whatever, dude. I've done like 50 raids looking for them because that's my last task before the collector, and I can't find them.
The first time I ran into them, I got so pissed, and I did the proper thing. I did a bug report, and the devs, I got the standard response back for a minute. I killed them on my scav, which they're rogues. They're rogue bosses. I should be fine to kill them. I lost 1.68 karma killing them, and I'm like, what? Why?
You're gonna hate me because I think it was Saturday. I found them 3 times on woods back to back.
I do hate you, but that's okay.
I'll be honest. First time ever killing them.
Oh.
First time ever killing them. I killed them the last time. We were like walking in between the lakes, going like left side of sunken, and I hear like a shot whiz by me. I'm like by the broken house next to the church that has a stash in it. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, woods is my map. I have like thousands of raids on woods. And I'm like, dude, no one ever shoots at you when you're here unless they're like at the lake. It's just random timing. No one's ever here. So someone is either cheating or what's going on. So I sit in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
And my buddy's like on the left side of the house, like looking down. And he just gets sniped like I'm dead. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? He goes, dude, it's Bird Eye. Run. So I get out of that raid. And they were, I don't know what's going on with them, man, but we're at like USEC camp and med camp. And Bird Eye is fucking popping shots at us from fucking Scat Bunker, where the hell he is. He's a little nuts right now.
Well,
that was the first time I saw him.
I to see them, but we'll see when I do.
I mean, I will say their gear set is pretty dope as shit looking, and it's again going back to cosmetics in a game. So, to you, for like a good game, you're looking at something that gives you. I like the word customization, but it can be overdone.
Right.
I've never played Fortnite. I look at it and go, it looks so memey. But it looks, if you go on like a Gary's mod server where the admins have gone insane smoking meth, like,
right,
yeah, it's just that's Fortnite to me. I can't unsee it.
No, I mean Fortnite. It's a walking commodity at this point, right? Everybody has their toes in it. I mean, down to I mean, every single game has a character in it, damn near, and even to the like celebrities are in it. Like that's a walking commodity. It's made for kids, but
yeah.
I don't think it necessarily needs customization. I think I just want a game. The game should align with what you market it as. So Like I've got a video planned that's going to kind of poke fun at Tarkov because it says, it's an RPG hardcore tactical shooter. The reality is it's an arcade shooter with a skill system.
Yep.
And
you don't control the skills. You don't do anything about it. The most active people is with skills is either shoving a bunch of heavy shit in their backpack and sprinting at the beginning of a raid, or reloading a Mosin 4,000 times because they have to for the task, right?
Well, have you ever?
Mhm.
So, I mean, there is one other way. It's a role playing game, I guess. You do. You can make the decision to constantly reroll tasks to level skills, and you do have one choice as
you can't
skip.
though. If you're an EOD user, you maybe can. If I reroll tasks as a standard user, I can go down in level at a trader and not be able to get back up to elite. So I actually can't reroll tasks because my trader reputation can go beneath the threshold. So I do not reroll dailies.
Yeah, there's a very negative outcome to it.
Yeah, I mean, I can also role play as a guy who only has a knife and only go in, but then the tagged and cursed system, which is, I mean, like, yeah, it can also LARP, but if I make a cool looking gun, the recoil system in the game will fuck me.
Yeah.
Because somebody else built the slick meta build, the one-stop shop mutant that does short, close, long range. Short, close, that's the same thing, but you know what I mean? Short, medium, long, but
I mean, going back, I get what you're saying. Going back to like the top 10 Steam games, I pulled it up a little bit ago, and Tarkov is competing. There's only 11 games above 70K. It's Sons of the Forest, which is single shot game. So that company is just making only off of sales, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It's like Valheim was during COVID.
Yeah,
like it's hot right now.
But every other game, it has ways for you to spend money in it. Call of Duty, PUBG, Rust, Hogwarts, Team Fortress, Apex, Lost Ark, Destiny, Dota, and Counter Strike. Rainbow Six is. Did I say Rainbow Six?
Wow, Rainbow Six fell off.
Yeah, it's not on the list here. No, Rainbow Six is at 39. Still a lot. I think peak players this month was 70K. So it popped up.
Oh,
for sure.
it's still fine. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's just crazy. Like, I have a little thing we could talk about. I know Tiggs talked. He believes that one of my other buddies kind of thinks the same thing. He was like a software engineer nut, and he's like, I think that somebody, either a current dev or an old dev, siphon files and sells them to cheats, and that's how they like get revenue for people buying copies of the game. Because like you're saying, how does a game compete with 10 of the best games out there currently out of just pure concurrent players? And I mean,
I think that doesn't seem likely, right? Because then you're jeopardizing your job.
Yeah,
I think it's more likely, and I have in-game evidence to support this, right? I think it is more likely that the numbers Nikita are saying are false, right? Because he's saying there's 70,000 to 150K players, and I say, okay,
maybe 30.
When I went to the in-game market the other day, I was looking for a Voodoo scope. There were 4 listings on a weekend, 4 Voodoo scopes. If you're telling me there's 70,000 to 150,000 concurrent, how the fuck are there only 4 Voodoo scopes?
Yeah.
On the open market, you know what I mean?
I agree to that. So I've had like try to buy something. I'm like, wait, I bought the last one.
Why does some of my listings, the cheapest listing, take 10 years to sell?
He could be using an inflated number. Specifically, he could be using if people are logged into the launcher. So he's technically being true. Like, this is the amount of people that have logged into the game. Yeah, so I could reasonably see it being 300K, but at max peak, but like 70 to 100 now, it's so.
My raids are too quiet for that to be accurate.
Yeah,
100.
And we're on consolidated servers. Like, you shrunk the server list. It's not. There's not 4 Florida servers. There's Southeast. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Really buy it right now.
I
agree.
I did factory night raids I did factory to wipe for one raid back when he was saying it had larger numbers. That's all I did. I played factory for like 4 hours a night. I would almost only get one-on-ones factory night. Like, it would be rare that I would run into more than one group. And if I would run into more than one person, they were generally like it's a duo or a 4-man or a 5. Occasionally I got the 5-man, but rare.
Another thing I wanted to point out about what you said about the art, how Tarkov's like an RPG game or whatever. Another thing, like getting clothes or like skins or of that nature, it would be nice if stuff. I don't mind stuff being locked behind like a skill wall or a level wall. Like you have to play the game to get there. It would be nice to also get stuff like if you completed X amount of raids. If you get like 2,000 raids completed, then you get something cool too. Because
like the killer suit, but
yeah,
Yeah.
just not as crazy, you know.
Would be cool, like
'cause-
well, a lot of games, like Steam achievements, I think are a good way to look at this. They'll do, if you did 100 raids on woods, it unlocks a wood specific, gear set. You can bring it to other maps, but then when you bring it to other maps, you go, oh, this guy runs woods a lot. And then if you get 500 raids, you put another piece on, and eventually you look like Sturman.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, because after level 42, I don't do quests anymore. I get max traders, I get my meta guns, and I go snipe people on woods, or I go run around and lose my money on customs. I don't like getting Kappa. I know some people like that grind stuff. Like, why do you like going for Kappa?
I like well, I'm a standard account user, so Kappa, I don't have a gamma container. So I also kind of need, I need.
But doesn't the Punisher quest help you a little bit? I mean, I feel like doing Punisher's done.
Fine. I usually get that in the first 2 weeks though.
Yeah, so you're chilling.
It gives me something to grind for. It gives me something to do. And it is a good grind in some ways. And it's better this wipe now that they've modified some of the tasks that are required for it.
True.
Because there was a minute where it was not there was a amount of time where like capturing outposts was a thing. And that was just bad. It was just bad. There were a lot of tasks that were just really bad. But nowadays, removal of a lot of they've removed a lot of the really junky ones, so that's nice.
Out of curiosity, because I never thought about this till you just mentioned it, because you mentioned Epsilon container. So I always turn mine in because I don't care about it, because I got the gamma. But do you ever turn yours in?
Yeah, I turn it when I get to level 53.5. I turn it in, bumps me to level 55.
Okay.
Oh wow! Damn, it gives you how much XP?
Yeah, it gives you like 450k.
Yeah, it's a huge. Because it's not an issue at all for me, but I just realized that actually turning it in for non-standard accounts is actually a dilemma. Because do you want to
it has to sit on it. But here's the thing: it's never an issue, right? Like I hold it until I just hold it until fuck. What am I trying to say? I hold it. Can I swear?
Oh yeah, no, we're
okay. I just hold it until it's like I've said that for like 6 times on your podcast. I just hold it until I have all my items, and then I say see you, and I shoot it off, and it gives me the extra 53 to 55, and then I turn everything in. But
gotcha, and then all done.
Well, I think you mentioned something about this on your town hall too. But anybody that can get to Epsilon or can get to Kappa, the containers are kind of irrelevant anyways. They're icing, but they're irrelevant.
Yes, it just gives me something to do while I'm raiding. So
yeah, that makes sense. I wish there was something to do just for playing the game though too.
Yeah, I think it would be nice. I think Rec, you had a really good point where it would be really cool, like really, really cool to have the like the cosmetics, the split cosmetics. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, because then you could have somebody like because you have somebody that's like part Sanitar, part Sturman build would.
I think that'd be fun.
Funny as hell looking. It's like, oh, this person's a shoreline woodsman. That's a weird combo.
Yeah. He plays a lot, but that's all he plays. That's cool. It'd be nice to see that.
It'd be dope, and it would also be dope if like you could only have one top contender. Like, which pisses me off. They've had the was it Marauder, Paramedic, Survivor. Or survivalist. You guys know what I'm talking about, the class types.
Oh yeah,
why don't they attach a cosmetic to those to make them actually like, hey, if you're a marauder, you get this special look or some stupid. I don't.
And unfortunately, like I'm pretty sure it's just based on where most of your XP comes from, which means that for the majority of players, I'm pretty sure you'll just end up in like whatever the PvP one is, because players just give more XP than looting a filing cabinet.
So when I got my Kappa container, I was not Marauder. I wasn't Survival. I was God, what is it?
There's Neutralizer, Marauder, and I think like Medic.
Well, no, it was Marauder. Neutralizer's the kill one, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
So it was Marauder, which is the looter one. It's like loot kill people. It's a scav
yeah.
XP.
I'm not Marauder right now. Last one, Neutralizer.
Well, yeah, because you're woods and it's well, woods fluctuates. That's a I guess I can segue into our next topic instead of circling here. So when we're looking at like I guess we're kind of talking about Tarkov right now because it's in a bit of a lull, at least for me, and well for the community, I would say it's in a weird. It's hitting the Star Citizen point of like you got to shit or get off the pot as a developer at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm willing to wait for a good game, but I look at the future of games and I see a lot of cool like little indie games, but they create such insular communities that are really hard to become a part of. One of those games is like Foxhole. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
100%. I've looked at buying Foxhole 20 times, but I just watched a documentary. I'm sorry, like a video essay on. Sorry if you're my puppy in the background. On why basically the game is dying and how the devs fucked it up with like one single move. With one single move, they're killing their game.
What was that? I'm not familiar. So again,
so it's like these you play as these little characters. It's 24/7 wars. So there's
I can explain it real quick.
Yeah,
So,
why don't you speed it up because I think you know better.
It's a 24/7 persistent war with two teams fighting each other. It's steampunk, so it's like World War I, World War II tech. You have to advance in technology as a faction, which involves mining, building railroad networks, all this shit. It's top-down shooter, like army men are like running with rifles, like old games.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or like Project Zomboid. You've been playing Zomboid.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
So it's fucking dope because the wars can last anywhere from 20 days to like the long ones last, a couple months for them to push through. Now they've done a lot of cool things. They did a really sexy update this year. And it's a game that's on the cusp of being great, but the developers, it's such an insular community that the community fights the developers all the time, and the developers fight the community because they're the only ones communicating with each other. They're not looking at the bigger picture of the people not playing the game.
Interesting.
That was a weird tangent on that, but
so what mechanic? You said one move. I don't know which one you guys said, but one move destroyed the game.
They they basically just weren't clear. Here's the thing. They weren't clear about the communication when it comes to how the servers were set up. So they ended up breaking it into 3 servers. People couldn't get on the server they wanted. It wasn't communicated well. Essentially, and you're like locked in because each server is its own. Each server hub, it's not like one server. Each server hub is its own war. So people who were like, yeah, the main, war A, like that's people consider that like the real war. People ended up getting put on like war B or war C, and C is where all the new people go, and A was too crowded, and so half of you have these people who have been playing with each other for years, and they have these gigantic teams, and they are like, I'm a dedicated, like I drive cars, I collect resources, I like people have all these dedicated roles.
Yeah.
They got split. Like it's like if you have a 5 stack on Tarkov that's like down to a science, right?
Yeah.
And half of you can't play together, and you're put on like the training servers. Like it ended up making it really weird, and people couldn't. It became a very hard sell. As an example, for me, I was on the fence. I've had this game on my wish list for 2 years, and I was like, oh shit, like they hate 1.0. Here comes the big. Like maybe this will be my time. And then I watched this video and I go, yeah. And then I see because of all this, the player count has dropped dramatically, and now they can't even fill the servers.
Well, so they did do something to slightly fix that. At least this is when I was played. I last played it maybe 3-4 weeks ago. They did some stuff with region unlocking for purchasing, and they have brought in a lot of. There are now a lot of Cyrillic and Asian names in the game that were not there, and the game has VoIP, and it's about communication.
Yeah, and so like I'm still not sold, right? Just because you fill the servers doesn't like.
Yeah,
That's tough. That's tough.
it's a game that's built right, and it. So what killed their one of the best? I don't want to say what killed their game. Like they had a really great moment in the game where the community banded together, kind of like Tarkov is doing with Goat's video in a little
Mhm.
some kind of ways. Some people are faking their. Anyways, I'm gonna go down that tangent.
Most people are faking. Yeah.
So Foxhole, all of the people who do the logistics, because like every single bullet, every single gun, every single truck needs to be built and driven to the front line, right? So,
hmm
and you're talking about people like dumping 200 rounds of ammunition in 30 seconds too, and that it takes minutes to build and get to the front line, so you can very quickly on a defense or on assault like just run out of shit. So trucks, very, very important. All of the truckers in the game got pissed off that they weren't getting quality of life improvements, so they all decided to stop playing collectively because they were all organized into these clans that Shouldaville was talking about. And it's one of the most glorious things in a video game is there was a trucker strike in a video game. Because it's just... And the devs, like it took them like a week to like meet their demands and just, yep, here's all the quality of life improvements, guys, that you want.
I just don't know how you have what relatively small community. The community speaks about what they want, and then you just don't give it to them.
Well, it was small. It had it had a similar problem that, in my opinion, so I guess even more communication bits. Like, here's how we can tie this out. They had issues with. They had the Summit effect. Summit 1G played Foxhole, and it blew up the game before they could. Basically, before they could accommodate. Same thing that happened with Tarkov with the Twitch explosion. Same thing that happened to Due Process was another game that I really liked, where a big streamer goes in and plays it or watches a video about it. Everybody flocks in. The devs have to accommodate it, so they have to make all these crazy changes really fast, up the server infrastructure, and then everyone leaves because the streamer stops playing it, right?
Yeah.
And so the netcode's bad, and it sucks. Well, yeah, because the game's not anywhere near ready, and it should have stayed in early access and like no funding land for probably another 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Marauders is a great example of that.
100%. I backed Marauders on whatever. I forget. They used some obscure... I backed them on it, and I was like, man, I love this game. It's going to be so sick. And then it got super popular. A bunch of people played it, and now they launched at a state that I still think is like alpha. It doesn't feel good. It's the same way I feel about Dark and Darker.
Yep. Wait, they launched?
Love. Oh yeah, Marauders is out. Everyone plays it, or everyone can play it, but no one does.
What the fuck?
I logged in and played it after they launched, and it was just...
Like a year ago, they were like working on it.
Like, it's sad. Yeah, no, it's just sad playing it. Like it's just as empty as it was in beta, or quote beta.
It's so cool. It looks so cool too.
Dark and Darker, same way. Dark and Darker, I can't put my hand on it. I really love it. It's fun. I played a lot of it, and it's like, all right, it's cool. I love the D&D aspect. I love the dungeon delving aspect, but it's just... like everything is so purposeful in the game. Like I don't know if it's the animations or like the click time to do things, but there's just something that feels like I'm playing a 1990s like Doom style.
Oh,
game.
Totally.
It's just, I'm like, I'm clicking, I'm trying to do the things, but the thing isn't doing the thing.
And my point with it is just, it's another game where I was like super pumped for it. I was like, hell yeah, it just needs some more time in the oven. And then this year they're like, and we're going to announce now, because they were doing these play tests. I thought it was so smart. You can only play it once every couple months.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. Like, that's great. You're taking your time. And then they're like, we're going to announce our release date. And I was like, bro, you are...
Dark and Darker did that?
I think it's up and coming. If not, but they said they're going to. And
it's not good. Games need so much work.
It's like the one game I see doing the early access recently is Battle Bits. They've been pretty good about it. I don't know how they're going to be with their launch, but to me their game is almost right on perfect, because you leave it and it's always wanting more, and not like I'm agitated at the game. I want to play
just it. To fact check myself publicly. So yes, Iron Mace is pushing for Q3 2023, and I'm like, I don't see the overhaul, bro.
I don't see it. I think the
don't
game's
see you
really
doing
fun,
that.
but
6 months. 6 months. You're going to completely add new content, update the visuals. I just no.
So
You're going to have an alpha game that you want me to pay for, and I don't want to do it again.
would you
Yeah,
look at
I
a
mean,
game? Well, I was gonna say, do you ever look at these games having the potential No Man's Sky effect? I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah. No, I love No Man's Sky. It's one of those games that I bought it. I pre-ordered it, played it at midnight when it came out, and went, "What the fuck?"
I
then
don't
didn't
think
play it
many
for
games are
7
going to be able to
years?
do that. Yeah, I don't
No,
think
but I
many games are
played
going
it
to do that.
7 years later.
Yep, same.
when
Yeah,
it was good.
that was the same way.
Yeah, I don't think many games are going to be able to do that though. That's a diamond in the rough kind of deal. I backed Dead Matter. If you guys are familiar with that game,
Yeah.
yeah,
I followed that pretty closely.
I'm still hurt about that because
Right.
I felt like apparently like dude, that game's never coming out.
Right.
Wasn't that that was Dr. Disrespect's
Like
game?
even if it does come out,
No, that's
no,
Dead
it's
Drop.
Dead Drop.
yeah. It's a zombie game, zombie survival, and I thought it was super fucking cool, you know. And but from my like research on that thing, like if that game ever does come out, that game's going to be in the negative forever because they were not paying people, they owe people money, they lost
Well,
devs.
And the devs split, and
Yep.
now half the devs are making basically Dead Matter but good.
Yeah, Dead Matter 2.0, and they made it in like a fraction of the time. They made it in
Yes.
like 3 months, what they've taken like 5 years to make. It's
Yeah.
just that kid, the owner, whoever started that, if he ever releases that game, he's gonna have lawsuits coming at him for years. And I don't think that game's ever gonna come out for that reason.
Do you guys ever
I
look at us as content creators chasing the potential hype of a new game and wanting to be the I don't want to say the sole voice for it, but I don't
No,
I don't
but
want to
yeah.
be the sole voice for a game.
But
But
I mean, but yeah, I feel like you have to do that, and it sucks though, because like real estate, yeah, you have to you have to start knocking on doors in the market's about to pop. You know, it sucks, but that's the way it works.
well, it's also like I feel for was it One Peg is really pushing hard on Dark and Darker, but the more he pushes, the more people go and play it, which pushes the developers to go, oh, we have a ready and finalized product, instead of going, hey, yeah, we have a lot of concurrent players, but they're not a lot of returning players.
Mhm.
Like, how many people log in and play, 5 raids of Dark and Darker per test, play session and never play it again?
Sure. Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Should I heard you gonna say something about that?
No, man, I've been talking enough. Please.
No, please.
Put out a voice.
I would love to hear.
Give me the platform. I just that's why I don't.
Go, baby. Let me hear you, man. Let me hear you.
No, I was gonna say I get the benefit personally of not, because this is just a hobby and it's not my job. I don't have to chase anything, and I feel very comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I can be a little more free ball with the things I say, the way that I critique things, because I don't need to stay in like Battle State's good graces. But I do, if you're truly trying to pursue content creation to the point where you want to have like good relationships with developers and a platform and a brand, etc. Like, I think, Rect, what you're saying is like, it's very true, right? You do have to chase like what could be next, right? What might I you do have to do that.
I look at it,
I just don't, because
I look at it the opposite effect. Actually, I don't look at a developer relationship, and this is I shit post more than I don't do serious content that developers would ever want to work with me on. I look at it more as wanting to build a community and do it. So I look at a game like War of Rights. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one. I think it's a great concept of a game, and it's a great game for Civil War reenactors to go play in. Because when they do, they have a blast, and it's a way for them to play virtually.
Just a bunch of racists.
Stop
playing a Civil War game. Like, that damn game suits me.
Oh god!
I want to load a musket and say the N-word.
But it gives them the space to do it, and it's virtual. It's not hurting anybody. I don't give a.
Yeah, right. Not hurting anybody.
No, but I look at a game like that. Like, if I were to. I don't have a game attracting me like that till Arma 4 for me, but like, it's do you ever naturally have a game that, because we had somebody else in our podcast that we talked to, that we interviewed before, that he is like hardcore solo. Do you ever see yourself wanting to like get early in a game specifically to like build a group around it? Is that
no. No, I do understand why, but there's a I've met a lot of odd people who are clearly using people who are they're not genuine. They are doing exactly that, but on the malicious side, not just like, hey, I want to meet people that are very like, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. I would love to play with you. Looking for, you know what I mean? People where it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, we know what you're trying to do.
Just shoved up this butt plug. I'm ready to talk.
I cannot wait to play games with you.
Yeah.
You're hilarious. And I'm like, ugh, I just can't. I'm definitely, because it's a hobby, again, like this is just so everyone knows my, like, how, like, full-time job, this is truly just casual, play it on the side. I just do this for fun, so it just means I don't have to really take anything seriously. So no, for those kind of things, it's easier for me to just keep poking fun at those people, you know.
Well, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm 9 to 5 right now, and I did try doing YouTube seriously, mainly because I'm like, I had enough savings to just not work my job for a few months if I lived like in squalor effectively. But I'm like, fuck it, just do the starving artist routine at least once in your life. Why not for a few months? It's not it's something I want to do, but I want, if it were to ever be to replace my career, I think I told this to, I think Fear, I was talking about this, but I would then also want to be a volunteer firefighter again. Like, because I would want to spend 8 hours a day doing some kind of like job outside of the computer space, because I love this stuff, but I found that if I spent all of my energy on this, I started getting absorbed into the stupid online petty bullshit I'm so glad I don't do Twitter ever. Like, I do, but it's very rare.
Yeah, I am the starving artist right now again. But so before, like, I did have a savings. I did what you did. I had the savings, and now I'm at that point where I'm like, now I really need to think about growth in a different way. And it sucks because it went from like this fun, cool thing that I do to like this, I have to talk to people that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I hate you. I want the things I want to say to people, man. I'm like, you are just a narcissistic, sucks, like just a nasty person. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because this fucking like industry, you have to be successful quickly. You have to be that person.
Can I
like,
talk to you about it?
You get super lucky with like an algorithm.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, there are people who are just extremely talented and they deserve what they get because they're smart, they're talented, and they're just a great, genuine person. But if you look at like, top percent streamers, I don't think they're great people. I don't know them personally, don't get me wrong, but like, I feel like behind the scenes, to be in front of the camera that long, in front of that many people, you have to be some bit of narcissistic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I don't know. I think I'm just ranting at nothing at this point, but it's just I feel that pressure now, being like, okay, I need to fucking think of something new now because money has dried up. You know what I mean? And it's just it's a stressful situation now, and it's not as fun as before. Like I sit here, I'm like, go live, fuck,
right?
I said like, oh dude, I can't wait to get this super sick clip today. Now it's like, I really need to get that fucking sick clip today. You know what I mean? And it's a different feeling, and it fucking sucks.
Well, and it's also, and this was I know you say this, Fear, and I do love the quotes, like, when are you just playing video games, and when are you just making content?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have that joy and passion for games, which, for example, me going out, I don't have as much fun gaming if I don't work hard for 8 hours a day. Like, if I actually go, if my job actually allows me to work for 8 hours hard in the day, and I come home and have to play and get to play video games, it is the most fun I will ever have, because I just busted my ass for 8 hours straight. Whereas if it's hard to play games without that other, and I think this is something we talked about, but like exercising before you play video games. And during so Shouldaville, for example, I don't know if you know this, I have a standing desk. So like in Tarkov, every time I die, I do squats, because it's a great way. And also when I camp, I try not to, but I do. We all do.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I feel I have more fun when I'm not streaming, not recording, just playing with friends. It's a weird thing. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying too. I'm the same way. I don't know if you feel this way, Shooter. Like coming out after home after work, I feel might feel more rewarding. So like for me, I try to like work out, do a bunch of good stuff that I feel productive. So then when I'm sitting here like recording stuff, I feel like it's actually like I've got some stuff done and I'm not just playing video games.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
'Cause I mean, I understand the gamer culture is, or at least was, hey, here's a 12 rack of Mountain Dew, here's 2 bags of Cheetos. You're gonna be a successful gamer. Don't worry about diabetes and heart attacks. You're gonna be just sit in the chair and go, man. You'll be great. And was that was me when I was the sweat lord when I was younger, and it just
But Shooter, like why did you get into content? Like what was your like? I'm gonna start doing this. I mean, of course you said for fun, but like what was
No,
the initial?
For real, it was.
To make
I'm
people laugh
playing games. No, fuck that, dude. I did it for me. It's selfish. I have every selfish intention. I'm playing video games anyway for long periods of time.
Right.
I thought to myself, like, hey, I think I'm funny personally, which again, a little conceited, but again, like I find myself funny. And then there's content creators that I like where I'm like, I could do that. Like and it would be fun. And so it's all personal enjoyment. Like it's if videos, even when they are, they're true shit posts and they're low quality, they're low effort, that I put out. But as long as when I watch my own video back, I kind of giggle. I post.
Yeah.
And people who are like, why would you even waste your time with this? And it's like, well, fuck you. Why'd you watch it? Like, that's your problem.
Yeah. I feel like that's just, and if you make some money, why the fuck not, right?
Right. I mean, I don't make any money, right? It's pennies for hundreds of thousands of views for short form content.
Yeah, 100%, especially if it's a short focused channel.
Yeah, and that's fine though, because that's what makes it nice for me is I don't have to look at my analytics tab ever because I just don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't care if a video gets 10 views or 10,000. Like,
if you post for there was a way I described my channel to my viewers when I first started blowing up, which was I look at it as like home videos. It's just videos I would have recorded. Like if the internet didn't exist, I'd have a camcorder in real life doing real life memes because I have a bunch of those from before I started making game content. Like me and my cousins would go out and record and do dumb shit. Like we reshot the Blair Witch Project shot for shot.
Yeah.
As like 11 to 13-year-olds.
That's funny.
No idea why, but hey, whatever. We ended up, I really wish I could find who bought the tape because my parents sold the tape of it at a garage sale. So
that's kind of scuffed actually to know that you've got some like freak who watches like your home video.
Jesus,
kids
like,
every single night.
Like pops open a beer. It's like, it's time to watch the video.
Yeah, exactly. He shows it to people. It's like, you will not believe what I found at a garage sale.
Oh, it's one of those things that will end up on the internet one day, and it's just, is this you? Yep. Yeah. No, it's not me. What are you talking about? No, never. Always deny.
Yeah.
So to cycle kind of back into the main topic here about, like what separates a good game from a bad game. And we've been bringing up a lot of examples. To punch down a little bit deeper, like every good game I feel has to have a love-hate relationship. Tarkov is a prime example of that, where you can't love all of a game, especially if it's PvP. Because if you love all of a PvP game, it means you would be good at all aspects in PvP of it. Tarkov is like, I suck at sniping in Tarkov. So, but I respect the people who are good at sniping, and so it's this fun chess move of how do I fight the snipers. So it's like I hate sniping and I hate snipers, but I love that they're there. It's like when I'm white knighting, I hate the people that are doing the betrayals and being just absolute shitlords on the map while I'm trying to teach Timmy how to just do his basic task. But the fact they're there is why I'm there, and it's fun. So it's a weird. So I'm saying it's a weird love-hate relationship, and I look at every game I've played long-term. Like if I guess there's like good game in terms of like I look at it positively, and good game is in like I keep coming back. And if it's a game I keep coming back to, there's very few games that hits that list that like Tarkov. And it's ones
Fucking
where,
drug.
yeah, well, Tarkov's case, it does hit those dopamine circuits, which is why you can't play it too long.
It's a weird thing. I like. I don't like the audio, but I like the sounds of Tarkov.
Yeah, I know. Shooting. It's like ASMR, but you actually hate the actual audio system.
Yeah.
The gun sounds
like,
neat.
I'm walking on grass. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Walking on glass. Fuck yeah. But like everything else, I'm like, where the
You're like,
fuck is he?
What? Yeah.
Oh god.
Dude.
Have you ever gotten, either of you ever gotten Covert 51, like Covert Movement max level?
No.
Yes.
No way.
I got
Yeah.
Covert Movement,
Woods right here.
endurance. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Covert Movement, endurance, and strength max leveled in 12-11, I think it was. It is the most broken.
It's super broken.
Right, because you make no noise on any surface. You make the same
Anything.
noise amount.
Even
Well,
the bushes, people
Fun
don't hear
fact,
you.
it's bugged right now. And if you're crouch walking, you make no sound. It's client side, you'll make sound, but
Really?
in game, you don't make sound. Yeah.
I'm crouch walking all day tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. If you're on the slowest setting, it's broken right now anyway. So
I got max strength, so my boy's light.
I really want, I guess going in the love-hate relationship. How do you guys feel about games that have mechanics that are, I know this is going to be funny because we play Tarkov with, there's definitely not that many cheaters, but there's enough that it pisses you off. How do you feel about dying to things that you could prevent, but they're pain in the ass to look out for, like tripwires and mines and stuff like that in a game? So the love-hate relationship, like DayZ, I think is a great example of this, where it's just you're fighting the terrain and the environment just as much as you're fighting the other people. Does that have a place in every PvP game? Or
No. Not every PvP game, but some.
So, but would it stop it from being a great game? Because the only PvP game I can think that's going to hold the test of time, and one of them is going to take Supreme, in terms of not having that extra content, is like CS:GO or Rainbow Six Siege, where it's chess, like it's the basic form of tactical shooter chess.
Hey, I'm sorry, my dog's freaking out. Give me literally 90 seconds, but keep going. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
No, take it.
Okay, so 2019 COD Claymores, they were busted, and the arrows would point one way, and if you shot them in the back, no matter from like so far away, you would die. Stuff like that is not fun, and it makes PvP terrible. Adding safe spaces to games to make people feel comfortable and safe, and having those mechanics in are terrible.
Did you ever play PlanetSide 2?
No, I never played PlanetSide a lot, and I know people really like that game.
So there's three main types of bases. There's a tech plant, which is like this is breeding grounds for armor combat, and you need to own one to build main battle tanks. There's I guess I should go back a little bit. It's a big ass war. It's 2,000 players fighting each other at the same time on one like big island. However, it's split into 3 teams.
Yeah.
There's 3 main type of facilities on the map. There's tech plants, which are tank battles, amp stations, which are, it's kind of like everything, but it's mainly air, should be helping out with doing a lot of the great love of like legwork. And then there's biolabs, which are, did you ever watch, like, if you know what, have you ever watched Biodome with Pauly Shore and I don't remember the guy who else he was with, but it's like a giant dome. So you literally, no tanks can get in, no planes can get in, nothing. So it's just an infantry fight.
Biodome. Oh yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah. So the problem with it is in PlanetSide 2, when you're in these biolabs, like there's just these shield gates to get inside, where it's a choke point of all choke points. So there's a safe zone, and then there's enemy in 100 different camp spots. So you have this like stupid, it's why I hate safe zones in games, because you just like step in and out of the safe zone. It creates this stupid tug of war of like needing the right leader to go, all right, everybody charge. 90% of us are dying, but the 10% that get through got to kill everybody.
Yeah.
which is challenging, but it's also just, oh God, it feels like a waste of time some days when you play games like that.
I agree.
So that's why I don't know. We were talking about PlanetSide 2, Shouldaville. I don't know if you're
Yep,
familiar.
I've not played it. I'm familiar with it, but I've never played it or anything.
It's a game that I ran way too much of. It's fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was really fun when they were going to go competitive, and it was supposed to, and it would have been a better game because like it's jetpacks, it's futuristic, and they were going to build this like cool little like 64 on 64, like 100 on 100 like outfit war section of it, and it would have actually been more legit than the actual game, because the actual game, like, it's 2,000 people fighting each other on the same server. The netcode does not like it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun.
But no, but go back to what you were saying for iteration. Let's say you said like Claymores. Would that impact PvP at all? Was that the quote?
Wait, I'm sorry. Would
Yes.
Clan Wars impact
Claymores, like bouncing Bettys, like those things inside of Tarkov? And I brought up
not even just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. But I brought up like 2019 COD. Like the Claymores were broken. It was obnoxious. And then I think about like if it was brought to Tarkov, one thing I would have to think about would be how does that impact the speed of how I get through certain areas, right? And how would that impact everybody else? Would it slow the game down so much to where like people are walking a lot, which I don't mind, but would it be fun, or would it, you can't really tell until you actually play. But what do you think?
I think for a lot of video games, okay, when you're talking about those kind of trap mechanics, it's in my opinion, it is about like does it parallel the game design, right? And yeah. I think about things like DayZ. The traps do parallel well because it's a survival game. It's tough. It's hard, and it's also hard for the person on the other end setting it up, right? If you try and do one of the tripwire booby traps with a grenade, you have to have a lot of components. You have to spend a lot of time setting it up and preparing, and there's more investment there. Comparatively,
could just set it off.
Yeah. And that's why. And then you have to be close enough to hear it. You have to also be close enough to respond. So if it's a group, you'll probably sit closer to the grenade trap, just because you want to be able to immediately respond, right? So like, there's investment, right? It's such a big world. It doesn't matter. You put up one little trap in a doorway. What, are you going to camp it for 10 hours? People do. They will, but that's a time investment you have to pay.
Right.
I think about things like Tarkov, and Tarkov, has its own personal identity crisis where it likes to say it's a hardcore shooter. But I'm telling you, I play that game like I do Call of Duty. It is an arcade shooter. At the end of the day, Tarkov's an arcade shooter. So do I feel that Claymores would add anything to the game? Probably not. And that's not to say that the mechanic in and of itself would be bad. I think that the implementation would be bad. Look at rogues. Like, BSG adds these hardcore AI that, as a bear, I play as a bear character, they shoot you from 500, 600 meters away. You can't see them. Like, their heads don't even render at that distance because the game's so poorly optimized. So I feel like it'd be the same thing. The fucking Claymore wouldn't even render. You can't even see it. There's too many easy things to cheese, and you move too fast in that game. If Tarkov played at the speed of Ready or Not, because I like the booby traps in Ready or Not, because they fit with the environment. They make you go move slow, tactically, check the corners. Like, that's fun to me.
That's a very good way to articulate that.
So I just feel like that's the clash, right? That's the clash. If Tarkov played like it did in their in the trailers for the game, I'd say, dude, yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be cool to have that kind of stuff. But I know that the reality is, much like how the GL has been used, right, since that's been implemented, or the impact grenades, people are going to sit and hold an extract with it. It's going to be an extract camping tool before anything else. You know what I mean? That's how I use impacts. I mean, I go naked into reserve, sit in D2, and then drop a guy who's like level 60, who did all this work, who played the game, but Nikita says that my playstyle is legitimate too, and I held the impact grenade naked in the basement, and I outplayed you. GG, skill issue. What could they have done?
Pizza while I listen to a podcast.
For real. I sit here like I watched all of season 2 of The Boys, extra camping Emercom. So like, It doesn't, man. Like I don't like just
Fun
doing one thing. I
facts.
like multitasking, and I wanted gear
I like
too. So
multitasking.
I
Yeah.
watched The Boys, and I just happened to have an SVD on the back of a truck on it, by Emercom.
Great show, by the way.
Oh, that
Good
was
show. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my point. I think
No,
it could be cool.
that's
Totally
fantastic.
could. But
Weird thing to say. I think also the default walking speed. How would you feel if it was slower? Like, let's say it was in the middle of a scroll bar.
I don't think that fixes anything, right?
It doesn't. It
Then-
doesn't. It doesn't.
Because that's like saying, what if you just made the maps twice as big? And it's like, well, think about
True.
like Shoreline. I already have to spend 6 minutes just sprinting to the only point of interest. There's
Right.
other mechanics you can change as opposed to just player speed, right? Because we already did this. We tried this already.
Well, I
We
think
added the new rotations. We added the new weight system. Okay. We added inertia. We added the armor penalties. All of these things that were designed to slow down the game, but it doesn't change the fact that as a PMC, you are told, hey, there's 2 Ledex spawns on this map. You have to be the first to get there. So no matter what you're wearing, what you're doing, where you spawn, you're sprinting everywhere
Yeah.
you go because
Everywhere
there's
you
only
go.
good loot at one spot in the map, and you got to race everybody else there.
This is
Right,
why
so
I think, this is why I think Cycle Frontier kind of hit it out of the park with their design, less with execution. I
was
gonna
say, I was curious how you were gonna circle that one, but
the idea of a long raid, which Nikita talked about for so long, and I would love Tarkov if I could play a 4-hour raid. Would be just beautiful in my opinion, because I'd rather just go into one raid for 4 hours and kind of work my way through the various maps and do the whole map to map travel. Ideally not map to map travel, and you're just through them. But
Yeah.
I look at Cycle Frontier where you have players, and not just player scavs, but you have players constantly coming in back into I think like it's 3-hour matches they have up to, like they'll run the same island.
I think it's longer than that. I think it's longer. I think it's like 6 hours or something.
Is it
The island's available. Yeah. And then what they do is like a storm comes in, everyone has to hide, and then they repopulate loot, and then you can go back out.
Yeah, and everybody kind of like keeps coming. You keep coming back into the same area so you can get your loot back if you died, and it's kind of a cool concept. And I understand it doesn't fit with the lore of Tarkov. Like, hey, you just died. Your character has to like. But my character just died. Like I got shot in the head with 30 rounds of BS, and the guy teabagged me and threw 18 hand grenades on me for a fucking meme video. I'm dead, BSG. We're past the point of like, it's a video game. We're okay. You can go past the illusion at this point.
Yes. Speaking of Ledexes, well, I've checked every med spawn on Woods, and you never find Ledexes at all the med points. Like, it just doesn't make sense that they're on Shoreline right now. And I don't know.
yeah, I mean that's a whole nother conversation, right? I mean,
blows my mind. I'm checking
loot
dead
distribution is a whole nother.
Yeah.
Loot's
interesting take.
Well, loot's a weird thing in game. I wish games would stop focusing on having such diverse loot as opposed to having consistent, I don't want to say consistent loot, but like DayZ is one of the few games I can look at. Like there's very few survival games I can look at that having an excessive amount of equipment is kind of okay. I understand it. Tarkov has like the fact there's 4 or 5 cigarettes. Like I get it. I understand what they're kind of going for, but I'm like just
yeah, but you can't explain 8 different AK variants.
Yeah.
47 different handguards, even though only 2 of them are usable.
And then,
how would you keep going? I'm so sorry.
Well, I was saying, and then because it becomes a problem of because the game has no easy communication. A lot of games don't do it now, or a lot of games that are in this vein don't do it. If you go to something like Apex or PUBG, right, they go like, this is a purple item, it's better. Here's the stat breakdown right away while you're looking at it versus what you have. Cool. It's hard to do that in Tarkov. Not saying they should, but like there's no. A lot of these games don't have easy indicators of like, this is a good item you should keep for the future. And there's no tutorial teaching me how to do that in the game. And because they're all early access, they're not completed. Like all these survival games, I can think of very few that are like feature complete besides Dying Light series, kind of. And even that one, that's kind of, it's so never been more pissed off at a PvE game. I don't want to go on a rant about that, but
Dying Light? What? I liked that game a lot.
I co-op played the entirety of Dying Light 1 up until you get to the final boss, in which you are forced to solo play it.
Yeah, but it's a quick time event.
Nope, didn't. I literally alt F4'd and deleted the game off my hard drive. Never played it
Oh my
again.
god, it hurts you.
Yeah,
Oh, it's because you had it on a hard drive, goofball. Get an SSD. It's 2023.
well, this was a while ago. To be fair,
Sure.
but,
Okay. Sure.
I've had an SSD for a hot minute.
Going back to I feel like the identity crisis of Tarkov, which you said is I think is a real thing too. The guns, right? You said we have so many different variants of guns. There's only 2 things that are viable on as for like a handguard. What if like all guns were laser beams? Like, how would you feel about like all guns were just like fucking laser beams?
I mean, we had that for ever up until 4 wipes ago. Like that was the game, and what it did is, and people won't like it, right? That people just whine, and the community is just lukewarm IQ 24/7. I swear.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's right, that everything is laser beam. I think it'd be better to have dynamic recoil patterns that are realistic to the fact that, hey, your player's a trained soldier. That's realistic to the fact that, hey, you're a professional, man. You should be able to shoot. Call of Duty shouldn't be able to have lower recoil than you.
Honestly, the only
Than
thing
your
they,
game.
the only thing they need to do, I think they just need to go back to, like you're saying, like I think it's like 12.6, 12.7, 12, like right, but like 2 wipes past the hideouts when they changed it, I think.
Oh really? Yeah, I mean, I started so late into Tarkov compared to you guys. So I'm like, the only thing that I know, like when I came in, the M4 was like the HK was like meta, you know what I mean? And then like 2 wipes after that, then they nerfed it. So I wasn't even good at the game, so I got to use it like once. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, that's nuts. I would love to play the game like this. And then I got sad.
All they need to do is increase the malfunction chance, because like the
Fuck out of here.
the 60 round
No.
Yeah.
what I'm saying for like the high attack, like if you're gonna full auto an M4 with a 60 round mag, right?
With a silencer.
While moving with a silencer, because the whole point is those magazines need to kind of be somewhat stable. They jangle a lot. The PPSH is a great example of this.
But more RNG isn't a good solution to the game.
Well, I wouldn't say
here's the
RNG.
thing.
I think they need to have a better indicator of like, hey, your gun's about to malfunction because I'm a trained soldier, and I like Weapon Master would be a great example. Like I'm gonna get like a easier indicator of, hey, my gun is gonna jam soon. I would say there should be something like that.Ame thing with
Sure, but how do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know how detailed we even want to jump into like malfunction chance, but like
let's talk about
that's another one of those hardcore features that isn't hardcore, because the reality is, here's the thing: as a player that has, let me open up my stash and look at my stats. I'm pulling like 25 million rubles. As soon as my gun drops beneath 93%, I pay 80K and buy a new gun and put all the attachments on it.
Me too.
Because I don't want to malfunction. It's a stupid mechanic. And as a solo player, if you malfunction, you're just dead. And so many people will say, well, just position better. Shut the fuck up. You clearly don't play solo. You don't understand how this works. You don't win group fights. Just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Because I know, as somebody with 5K hours as a solo player, I know what I'm talking about. And that's why I just replaced my receiver, because I don't need to malfunction. It's a stupid mechanic that I can just circumvent with a little bit of rubles, right? Mm-hmm. But that's the case with everything in this game. Everything in this game that's frustrating can just be circumvented with ruble count.
It's Chad tax.
That's all it is, man.
Yeah.
Same thing like the crazy big change that everyone was like clapping for. The whole we're removing LPVOs, right? The low powered variable optics. So now the Voodoo and the Vortex, instead of being 70K and everybody runs them, they're 120K, and I put them on every gun still.
I buy them every time anyway.
Yeah, I can afford it. Who cares?
It's irrelevant. That's what's why I told people. I was like, if you can make 1 million rubles, like it's no issue. And
my stash is worth 70 mil. I have 30 mil Clash liquidated, and I can buy whatever I want. It doesn't matter.
Like I've played this wipe casually, and I only played 2 or 3 days where I played it like, hey, I'm gonna sit down and do a session. Which actually, I'm gonna segue off that point to go to this. Out of curiosity, because I know Fear and I play long sessions. Do you play long sessions of Tarkov, Shouldaville, or do you do
It just depends. It depends on the day. On like weekends, I'll kind of kick back. I work from home, so sometimes I'll play like 30 minutes. Like I'll do a raid if I'm feeling it. In the middle of the day. But I don't know. It just depends. It just depends.
Yeah.
Because I do play other games. I just make content primarily on Tarkov. Because there's games that I like. Like I just bought this year. I just bought a PlayStation 5, so I was playing the new God of War. I'm gonna get the Harry Potter game. I'm gonna get the new. I played the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Like,
ooh, I played the first Spider-Man. Fantastic,
dude. And Morales was really good too. I thought it was just shitty DLC, but it's actually awesome. And so those are examples of games too, like we talked about earlier, that they're PvE, their story, they're interesting, but I can play them once and then I'm like, okay, like I'm good.
Yeah.
Do you have well, I was gonna did you have any siblings growing up, out of curiosity?
Yep. Yeah, I do have siblings.
All right. Did you play console games against them? Like PvP games against them?
Because I'm the oldest, not as many PvP, just because being the older sibling, you usually curb stomp the younger siblings.
My older brother did not share that sentiment with you. Neither did my older cousin, who is a cousin my age too. So like,
no, they usually tapped out pretty quick. That's all. But I was a console gamer up until 2020. So.
Oh yeah,
holy
me
crap.
too. Yeah, me too for the most part.
Yeah, I was on PS4. I played PS4 Siege.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
PS4 Siege and PS4 DayZ. I had a gaming laptop a couple years before, but it couldn't run like Tarkov. But I played DayZ on it, so I did play PC games prior to 2020, but I switched full time in 2020.
Yeah, PC does that. I did the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
The question because you do play a lot of solo, and you seem to get a little pissed off. Well, you usually get a little heated about some stuff. What are some things that you notice that are extremely difficult in solo play? Because I do play solo, and I do notice a lot of things, but I definitely don't play as much as solo as you. Always have friends that want to play, and the community that want to play a game or two. So
I think I see a lot of flaws with the game that you really only get because if you're in a group v group, right? If I kill one person in a group, and I have also a group, one person can back off and the other two can continue pressing, right? As a solo player, what you end up having is you plink one guy of the three, they return fire, and you have to kind of dodge away. By the time you flank, only a minute or two, they've already grabbed their buddy's shit and thrown it in the water. So I see a ton of insurance fraud where I never see tags or loot. But by the end of it, I'll kill the group, right? But I lose a whole player or two. Maybe it happens twice. I see a lot of these things that there's simple fixes, right? You could even take the Cycle Frontier. And let's just say if you've insured your gear, you get a portion of it back monetarily, but you don't get the gear itself. That way you don't have to have people throwing shit in water. Like weird behaviors that's neither hardcore nor realistic. Having one player have to rip everything off and throw it in the water. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I always thought they could do it like the insurance point would make sense to me. When I get out of raid, I should be able to give the insurance gear back for the rubles that or a percentage of the rubles paid for it, and then get probably karma or trader rep would be a cool thing too. Like, hey, this person insured through Prapper. If I give the gear back to Prapper so he can give it to the person, Prapper gives me reputation. And it'd be
you could have so many features like that. Of course, the reputation thing is completely circumvented if you have an EOD account because it doesn't matter.
God, EOD Tarkov is the only game I've ever bought. Because normally, if I'm ever gonna buy a game, like if I'm ever gonna go I like this game, I want to buy the upgraded version. I just go, I'm gonna take that money and buy a copy of the version for a friend of mine. Because it's, why the fuck not? Tarkov is the only game I've ever gone, I really like the developers and I support their vision and their goal. And I really love where they're going with this game, and it gives me hope for the future of gaming. And that was about 3,000 hours ago in Tarkov. I don't have the same wide-eyed expectations, but I still hope one day the game, I think Arena will solve a lot of I think it's going to solve and create a lot of issues at the same time, but I think it's going to solve a lot of the overtaxing issues on the main servers, because a lot of people are going to get their PvP kicks off. And people will just be able to get better at the game by getting practice in arena, hopefully in a quicker fashion, because I don't understand why Tarkov hasn't, because so many other games do this. They allow you to practice the PvP portion of the game in like free ways, loot free ways
in the game.
You know, cycle right in the game. It's like EA Sports. It's in the game.
No, but like true, it's like they let you practice the PvP in the game. Like sometimes in Tarkov, like you want to get warmed up, but you don't see anybody for so long, and then you die, and then you have to wait 10 minutes to see somebody else. It's frustrating.
It's worse when you're streaming, because you end up talking to somebody, and you're sitting there looking over at chat, and then you look back, and that's why I stopped streaming in Tarkov. I don't know how you still do it, Fear. I don't mean to shit on you and bring up the bad parts of it, but it's, holy God, it's hard.
If so many know-it-alls in the Tarkov community, and the irony is they know nothing, right? They'll give you advice that's just dumb. I don't stream for that reason too. Where I'm like, yeah.
Or out of context goofballs. Is a lot.
Everybody jumps in and goes, "What's going on? What are you talking about?" "Oh yeah, I hate Found in Red too." And it's like, we weren't saying that at all.
Yeah. my favorite one is when it's like, "Oh, you don't have 32 gigs of RAM." I'm like, "Don't get me to. You need to relax."
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have to fucking upgrade my PC that I spent way too much money on already to fucking play a game that isn't ready. Like, that's like going to a restaurant, them giving you something raw. It's like, just go home, put it in the oven, dude.
Yeah, right.
It's not what I paid for, brother. Like, Jesus Christ. That gets me so frustrated, man.
Battlestate Games is a microwavable developer. Got it. That's what I'm taking away from the
really what it is. It's like, hey, we have this new meal coming out the restaurant. Everybody lines up, and it's like, you just need to take it home and cook it in like a industrial grade oven. That everyone has. And you're like, no one has this. And then you have the guys at the front of the line who, like, multimillionaires. And it's like, I have an industrial grade. Like, you should have an industrial. Shut the fuck up. Like,
that's my point, dude. It's annoying.
Well, it's like I uploaded a couple cooking videos early on when I was trying to like figure out what kind of content I was making, and there was people that got involved that like, you could clearly, they're like, "Oh, you could just use this for, you could just use an immersion blender for that." I'm like, I don't have guys, I'm poor. Like, I don't have an immersion blender. Like,
I'm impoverished. I don't know what that means. Yeah.
It's people who, I don't know if they're, I don't want to say they're rich. They're just people that are like out of touch with reality, like watching, because it's like, oh, I'm going to say the obvious thing because I've watched Gordon Ramsay say this. And it's
right.
Like,
there's a lot of people that don't live in reality, brother.
On one hand, it's great because it boosts your algorithm and it's your target audience, and they comment, and it's great. And on the other hand, it makes me weep for the future of society, but also just kind of look at it and go, just having any modicum of confidence in this world will set me apart. Because holy goddamn.
Question: why don't we have a loadout system already in this fucking game?
It doesn't matter. It wouldn't even be. It would be half baked. It's gonna be like the weapon system where, yes, you click your loadout and you don't have the space. Helmet isn't at 30 out of 30, and so it errors out, and then it's like you don't have the right amount of dollars, so it doesn't let you put together. Like, it's people act like it's gonna fix everything. Yes, should we have it? 100% should have had it.
I don't think it'll fix anything, but it would be nice. I always think about that. I see lockers in the hideout. I'm like,
it's going to be the same thing as the weapon system.
It's gotta be.
There's going to be too many errors that end up making you roll your eyes. And
dude, a lot of times that I go to modding instead of edit preset and add it, and it deassembles the gun and crashes my game. I'm like, oh, this is so fucking fun, dude.
What I'm so glad crashed and burned as a concept in game development before Tarkov became popular is, did you guys play Diablo 3 at release?
No, I didn't play any. I don't do dungeon crawlers.
All right, so Diablo 3 at release, the auction house, you could sell items on the auction house for real cash.
Right.
We were playing with a group. I've never seen a friend group split so hard over a decision. Like, just it's like a dumb decision, but had one guy he's like, I'm done playing Diablo for like the rest of my life. And we go, okay, cool, buddy. He gives all his gear to the other guy who's playing the same class as him. He goes, all right, I'm going to use this to get better gear and then sell this gear for real money. He made like $300 selling the gear. It's pretty good shit. Guy comes back. He's like, all right, I want my gear back. Like a month later. Like, no, I sold it for $300. What do you mean? Why give me the 300 then? It's like, no, you gave the gear willingly and he went and got better gear with it and then sold that gear. You could have done the same thing. You chose not to. I'm so glad that's not a thing in Tarkov, because RMT and cheating would be, well, it would fix RMT, I guess, because the whole thing is then you could just spend cash, which would you guys look at that as a potential fix for BSG and a revenue stream of allowing people to spend real cash on in-game ever?
I don't know.
To get items?
No, I think it's terrible.
Yeah, I just think it would make the game like a free to play Chinese game. You know what I mean? That's basically what I expected of like Tarkov Mobile. It just doesn't. Then what's the point of me running a raid? You know what I mean? Like if I can just
yeah.
I'll just buy it and never play a game.
Well, I'm right there with you. That's the way I got to the game with, because I don't care about Kappa or progression at this point for like this wipe, and I got enough cash to make videos and play however I wanted to in the game, and I went, I don't have any reason to keep playing or getting gear aside for when I have an idea to shoot a video. And I'm like, well, I'm going to take a break from this game for now, because it's, between that and Goat's video. Anyways, going off tangent.
I have a question whenever you're done.
Take it.
You guys have double the amount of time that I think I'm creeping up on 3K hours. So I'm sure you guys are way higher than me. I think you said 5, and I know you're also at 5, Rick. But we are seeing a lot of reverting changes, like they're moving off of the penalties of the backpacks. They're reducing camera recoil. They're reducing the recoil. How do you feel about that? And I mean, I personally I like it, but why do you think that's happening? And where do you think is like the good balance of where it should have stayed or where it should go to? In terms of like recoil or just the changes in general of like what, guns that were like laser beamy or guns that are just shooting to the sky kind of deal.
Well, the why is easy. It's because people stopped playing the game in mass and they saw that on their server side count, and then Nikita went into damage control mode. That's my theory on why. It's a theory. It's, I got a lot of
I mean, it's also no, I agree. It's the lowest hanging fruit. It's the easiest change. And I mean, think about if you look at the way the community reacted, where all of a sudden they're standing ovation, clapping their hands for shit we had a year and a half ago. That's like, that's like,
it takes
you got an
wheels off your
abusive
car.
parent, okay? Right, you have an abusive parent who doesn't feed you. Or they stop feeding you one day, and then a year later they start feeding you, and you're like, you're the best parent in the world. It's like, bitch, they didn't feed you. They weren't the best. Like,
what do
you mean? Yeah, maybe the car example was better. Somebody steals your tires and then puts them back on your car for free, and you're like, oh my gosh, thank you.
You're the best, dude. Wow, how nice of you.
Like, no, dude, fuck you.
Quick cash. That'd be a great way to get like a free meal out of somebody. If ever.
It's just goofy, man. It's a goofy. It's like
that
overall.
Makes sense.
But am I happy they reverted it? Yes, of course I'm happy they reverted it. But I am still at the point of like, bitch, why'd you do it to begin with? And why did it take somebody making a cheating video to bust your balls to get you to make a change? Like, we've been saying this for ages, and you're just now all of a sudden you realize, like, I mean, they've been put into a corner, right? And Rec, you said this, it's damage control. They have to placate the player base as quickly as possible, because that video is out of their reach. They can't touch it now. Had they been more responsive, they could have striked it like they've done with other videos in the past. They could have removed it, gotten rid of it, done scummy shit to make it disappear. They didn't, and now you have people like Asmongold, Shroud, all these people more critical watching it. You can't touch that video now. You already have, I mean, Vice, Games Radar. Go ahead.
What I was saying, what they can do and what they're trying to do is they're placating every streamer's problem, because it's funny to watch them on Twitter. where they'll go, like, where somebody will tweet or on Reddit where they recognize a content creator and they go, yeah, it's a good change, and then it's immediately changed, and you're like, you're trying to get the streamer to be in game, to
Yeah,
be
and I
making
mean,
footage right now to try to compete with that video. That's what it feels like to me.
yeah, and that could be true, but I feel like we're past the point of it mattering, because if you have Linus Tech Tips talking about it on a podcast, people who don't play Tarkov, Asmongold, Newest Critical, they don't give a fuck about Tarkov.
No.
They're watching a viral video.
Yep.
Well,
So,
funny,
like,
watching Asmongold, he's like, man, this game looks fun, I should play it, like in the middle of it. I'm like, what? No, that's what your takeaway is from Goat's video, is that you should play Tarkov. Like, this is your time
that's
to
kind of
come in
funny.
as a new player. Jeez.
But no, I mean that's a whole 8-hour video essay to talk about the
Yeah.
impact of that and what that looks like, because there's just so much with that. But
well,
it does speak to the theme, right, of communication, because they've been radio silent for a year, hyping up Lightkeeper that less than 1% of the player base will ever see. And now they are talking more than they have in 2 years.
Sure.
Through Twitter, through Reddit, through, like, they've never communicated this much since
Ever.
I've started playing the game, damn near.
Yeah, me too.
there was a point where they were doing those, like, Tarkov TVs pretty regularly, and they were doing somewhat community fielded questions. They were being very picky, but I felt like they were being a little communicative. That was the first time Santa came out. They were doing a lot of shit leading up to that. I thought they were pretty good then with communication, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to take your word. I don't remember. I mean, that was pretty deep into when I was playing, but I don't recall.
When was your favorite time to play Tarkov? Like, what was your favorite mechanic before they started, like, just diving the game into the ground? Like,
here's the thing. I get what you're saying. When was my favorite era? I mean, I feel like my favorite era is always the first wipe or two, right? So I personally don't even feel like they're diving into the ground. I feel like it's a little bit hyperbolic.
Yeah.
Do I feel like they're doing a good job handling the game right now? No. Do I feel like they're negatively impacting their own game and hurting it? Yes. I don't feel like we're in some crazy nosedive just yet. I feel like they're just spitting in everyone's eyes, and you're like, dude, why? We'd like this game to do well. But there is something special about the first wipe you get Kappa, or like my first wipe I did in Task, I just ran Mosins.
Yeah.
And because there was no found in raid, I would kill these, geared players and take their stuff and sell it in the fleet, and like Mosin. And then that second wipe of the first time you get confident doing stuff, the first time you're doing these tasks, it's exciting. And that's when it's exciting. I don't have some romanticized I love the AS Val wipe, right? Like I don't.
Yeah.
I just liked when everything is new and exciting and fresh, and that's not on them that it's not that for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not punishing them for saying, like, how dare it not feel like my first wipe every single wipe.
Yeah, every single raid.
That's not on. Yeah. How am I not as immersed? Like, I'm sorry that I have so much of this game memorized at this point that there's not a single thing that's happened in, like, wipes that has surprised me in a raid. Like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, mine's not attached to a mechanic, but my absolute favorite moment in Tarkov is not even a time. Like, 'cause I think with you, the discovery phase. To be honest, any game, like, the discovery and learning phases should, in theory, be the best part of a game. And if it's
unless
not,
it's Zomboid, I tried to play that and I can't get over the learning curve, and I just don't care.
Zomboid?
It's not worth my time. Yeah,
it's tough. I
like
in
it.
like
I think the game's
17
super
times before I decided to, like, go in all weekend. Anyway, it's a fucking.
But it's a good game. It's a good game, and I would recommend it. I just can't play it.
Yep. It's fun with friends. It's very sad by yourself.
Yeah,
because it's such it's such an investment, dude. Like, it really is.
So I look at a game like New World, which has probably one of the best tutorial systems I've ever played in a game, but there's no discovery phase in that game. Like, once you get through everything, you're like, all right, I know what to do, and I know how to do it, and the only thing new is just scenery and their very shitty story. They tried it was an attempt at a story, but it just fell flat. I tried to pay attention to it. Anyways, I look at a game like Tarkov compared to that, and I know what I was getting to. The main point I was trying to get to. The most fun moment I had in Tarkov was I took somebody, my sister, who does not play shooter games. She plays like Elder Scrolls, and like maybe a little bit of Mario Kart, stuff like that. I took her to Night Woods, and we took 40 minutes to walk through the map together. And it was just a blast because she had no idea what the fuck she was doing. She didn't understand controls. She doesn't play shooters. She doesn't play computer games even. And I'm not next to her. I'm in another house because she was playing on my brother's account. And it's like, it was stupid funny. To me, that's moments like that. That's why I taught Tarkov for so long. And I would Sherpa people because it's getting to re-experience that discovery phase all over again. So I think if you can... And I think this is kind of what harkens back to content creation too. And I don't know if you guys get this out of there, or Shouldaville, you get it, Fear if you get it. But like when you have somebody watch your video and they go, I don't understand how you did this. And to me, it's just something so run of the mill. Like one of my videos that blew up early on before I was even giving a shit about YouTube really was just me dumping an insured car battery in a bush. And people like, why are you dumping insured car batteries? Why are you insuring car batteries? Why do you have car batteries in Raid?
Right.
Because Nikita says to play the game this way.
Yep. Because this is how
Right. I have to get my strength maxed up. Yeah.
Yep. And so, well, we are, I mean, you're yawning. I'm getting a little up there. We are hitting the 2-hour mark. So we don't have to hard end. It's a kind of soft pull out. We can keep talking for a little bit. I'm just bringing it up to bring.
Yeah, no, we can keep shooting. We got a puppy a couple weeks ago, so my yawning is not due to this. My yawning is due to the lifestyle change of now I'm up at 5 a.m.
Just crying, a puppy crying.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not tired because of
puppy.
this. A schnauzer.
But they're great, man. Fucking great. I hate how much they're fucking great.
It's what?
Yeah.
I think it was the hardest thing I ever did is this summer, while I was in the midst of like trying to create content and like, all right, I'm at like Tarkov wipe just happened, the summer wipe. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be my time to shine, blah blah blah, blow up, try to. My dog died, like very painful, horrible death. Like she, I spent like a few hours with her. She was just basically shitting herself while I was just trying to keep her clean before we get her to bed and stuff. Yeah, and it's I literally tried to no thanks. It's I tried to stream and it just like my heart didn't give a fuck about Tarkov game anything, and it broke me for a bit. It's like I get the puppy stuff. It's a better focus than games for sure.
A little person.
Yeah.
Don't go that far, man. That's a dog. I definitely am not one of the new age like.
No. But I mean, I think they have the mentality of like a 2-year-old forever. So it's like having a little 2-year-old run around your house. So once they get old enough, it's just that's just what it is. They're gonna pee shit and poop on the floor.
That's exactly it, man. He's just biting shit and pissing. Like,
oh my Hitler in your house.
And I'm trying to work from home. wait. My dog's committing genocide. Wait, I didn't know Shitler ran around, pissing and shit, and I knew he did meth or whatever, but yeah, I guess I don't know what overshadowed the wrong files. Yeah, no. You must have read a different history book, but that makes sense. He was actually evil because he shit in the house, not anything else that he did.
I read the wrong books, brother.
All right, Fear said Hitler wasn't that bad. Just write that down. Remember that, guys. Add it to the shooting kids or whatever it is. Jeez. That's an outro you need to cut.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the
YouTube might not care about the swearing, but
oh my god,
the Hitler bit might do it.
Oh, their stupid freaking monetization stuff is just so funny to me to try to like parse through at all. Oh, like, did you swear in the first 30 seconds? I don't think I did, but you think I did, so I guess I did. I don't.
It's funny too. That applies for shorts. If I have a 15-second short, the rules still apply. Did you swear in the first 30 seconds? Like, I get demonetized all the time because I swear in a 15-second short.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's weirdo, but
yeah. Make sure you say all the racist stuff at the end.
Right. Make a 60-second video and just say everything crazy at 45 seconds.
It's funny.
55 seconds.
I have
5 seconds left.
I have a 700K video that I probably say the fuck word close to 30 times, and it's like a 40-second clip. Like, not demonetized at all. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna let it keep flying and rocking until YouTube notices.
Well, when did you do it? When was the video posted? A couple months ago?
No, 9 months ago, 10 months ago.
Yeah. So that was, yeah. You're back in the safer era of like you can just do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they haven't been retroactively hitting some people as hard. Larger creators they've been hitting harder retroactively, but
Yeah, I'll have like a limited ad. It's not what is it? Your video goes limited, almost like on every short one I upload it, dude. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? It pisses me off. And I'm not even speaking in it. It's just like non-copyright music, man. That just blows my mind.
Well, it's because you're Tarkov, and Tarkov is violent and extremist content.
It was Project Zomboid with zombies.
Oh, that's even worse, man. That's dead people.
I was so pissed.
You can't subject kids to that kind of violence at a young
I guess
age.
so.
You know, they
Fuck
would.
me.
What kids would go out in the woods and like beat the living shit out of each other with metal pipes pretending they're knights and cause blood anyways. So seeing it on TV is irrelevant. I don't know if you guys ever did stuff like that as kids, but
Yeah, I like to beat up my friends when I was a kid. That was fun.
Right, it's fun time.
Yeah,
I went around stabbing homeless people. I totally get you.
yeah, dude. That was because of Grand Theft Auto. I watched Grand Theft Auto when I committed homicide.
Yeah. Hotline Miami, so I just bashed grandparents' heads in. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
casual.
My advice, dude.
Oh god, I've used it a couple times, but it's such a great meme. The Hillary Clinton line from the 90s about violent video games cause extreme violence, and it's such a great quote line that is. Like, it just falls so flat on its face, and well, because you were saying this earlier, Shouldaville, right? Like, we're playing games. It's not us when we're in the game. Like, I do a lot of role play crap, so it's like I'm playing a character, which is very hard sometimes for people to understand if it's their first. I don't know if you get that a lot because your videos blow up. Like, if it's a first time viewer, but you're doing something a little outside yourself, and they just get really like they're like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Who is this person? And you're like, this isn't me normally, but I don't really care. I already full sent it.
Yeah.
No, dude. Shouldaville's a person who lies, deceits, and robs people in real life, dude. Obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. Hey, please cut that because that's true, and I don't need the authorities speaking for me.
I can't think of I mean, I've had things in games because I work IT side of stuff, so like I've had stuff in games help me do my job because of like challenges or skills that you have to learn to do a game. Like I'm trying to think of like space engineers. You have to do a lot of scripting in the game to get shit to work right, and you have to do a lot of logic programming, which helps if you fix circuit boards in real life. So like there's games that are there's games that like you can be yourself while in, but I can't think of a single PvP game where I go, I imagine myself in this scenario. Like if I was in the city of Tarkov as a person, like I would get the best, I'd get the best AK. No, man, I'm going to find a Mosin and a can of tuna and just like hunker in the, like, I'm not even going to I'm going to food, water, a place to poop. And how to get the fuck out. Like, I'm probably dying and getting shot, but like, no, I'm not gonna go try to kill people.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking for toilet paper.
No, it all ran out in 2020. Don't you remember? Oh, fucking dumb. Oh.
Did you ever see that video? It was Red Dead Redemption. A guy went up to like a girl and it was like, I don't know. But he like punched this chick, like tied her up to his horse or something.
It was the women's rights protester in
yes,
Red Dead Redemption, yeah.
That's what it was.
And the internet content.
The internet fucking blew up for like women's rights or something for it. That was a fun time.
I actually do remember that. Funny enough, like that just struck a nerve. I do actually remember that.
Yeah, and then after that video, he did it again, but he like. He punched her, knocked her out, hog-tied her. Yeah, he took her all the way. He fed her to a gator, left her on train tracks, and just kept amplifying it. I was like, dude, like this is what people do in real life, right?
So damn goofy.
there was a person I played Tarkov with. Their girlfriend in the background would get upset every time he shot a scav. She's like, "Those are people. Stop shooting the people." And he's like, "They're not people. They're just scavs." And she's like, "Scavs are people too." And it would break me every time. He was good at the game and he was good at PvP, but every time you kill anybody, and scavs were just easy for her to see. She'd be so upset with them. She's like, "Those people are trying their best. Stop killing them." I'm like, "Oh my, can't do this." Have you ever? Well, do you? I know you have one guy I think that you duo with, right? Shouldaville, or am I?
Yeah, I mostly duo with one guy.
Mostly, yeah. Do you? For me and my duo, I think it was like maybe about 1,000 hours of us playing together, where we don't talk. Like when we play together, we don't talk about what we're doing at all, and it confuses every time we bring like a trio in. Like they get so confused by what we're doing. They're like, "I don't understand how you guys understand where each other are." I'm like, "Well, because when we're in dorms, he just goes up to 3-story and he's gonna jump out of this window and dog shit on the person I'm suppressing right now." Right, but you guys aren't saying that. I'm like, "Well, yeah, because it's the obvious play. We're fighting a Timmy. They're easy to kill." Like, they back themselves into the L corner and they're not willing to jump out the window and break a leg on painkillers because they don't. It's stuff like that, and that's I don't know why I'm saying stuff like that. Oh, I'm getting lost in the sauce.
It's getting late. We could wrap this up, guys. It is been going on for a bit now. But
all right. I mean, it was fun. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I can tell the energy has died down a little bit, but I appreciate you coming on. It's a pleasure.
That is more. Yeah. Blame the puppy. I'll throttle him tomorrow. But I'm not waking him up tonight because he finally went down.
Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you, man, for the second time, but really getting to meet you. Thank you for having me on the town hall. That was awesome.
Yeah,
hope we get to chat more in the future.
10 out of 10 recommend you run those again. I try to yell at people that follow me to always go to them because I'm like, this is just, if you want to express an opinion, go do it here, because Reddit's not your friend. Trust me. I mean,
yeah, I don't. I wouldn't touch that with the 10-foot pole. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous. If you're trying to express yourself online, that's not the forum to do it.
I post the memes on Reddit that YouTube won't let me post, because they're too like YouTube. I've posted a couple videos on YouTube where I get shadow banned right away, where you post them and your views just drop to fucking 0 overnight.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, okay. One of them was just oogling over the posters in the gym that they added, which is. Anyways, getting off on tangents again. Yeah, it has been a pleasure, Shouldaville, and to circle back. I think we all kind of can understand what a good game is and a bad game is at this point based on the conversation. And it means a little bit something to everybody else, but as long as a developer is communicating their intent and following through on it, and it's something that like challenges us, like anything can be a good game. Hello Kitty Online could be a great game if it fits your speed anyways. I don't know if it fits your speed.
No, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's all personal flavor at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah. There are like baseline things that need to be hit, but as long as they're hit, your personal flavor will match up with it.
And then final question I have before FearJBaller takes this outro, and we'll do a post conversation here, but do you edit all your own videos, Shouldaville? Because I guess I was confused in the one town hall I think I listened in, and it made it seem like the guy you hang out with edits a lot of your stuff too, or is it? Do you guys?
Oh no, I edit everything. I've never had anybody else edit one of my videos. There's one guy that offered. I said no, and then he got really weird and called me slurs. So I was shit! I'm glad I didn't let you edit my shit.
Jesus Christ!
He sent me like this super nice DM. He was like, "Hey man, I love your content. Here's my channel. I think we have a similar editing style. I would love to edit some of your videos. I'll do it for free, and then if you like it, we can continue a relationship." And I was like, "Nah, man. Like I'm good. Thanks." But I like the editing. That's what's fun. It's a hobby. This is a hobby. If it was a job, I'd talk it. And then he was just like went ballistic, and I was like, "Okay, man, block, cool, bye."
That's what I have
what a freak,
right? I have a great edit that I want to do on. I'm so glad you had that friendly guy mod on your town hall talking a lot of shit about it because now I have that.
Yeah,
audio
what's
clip.
funny, bro? Yeah, you should clip. What's also funny is that like I think the way that the friendly guy plays is fucking so awful. I think it's horrible for the game. Let him do what he wants. I don't care. Like it's your game. But it was just goofy that because he was like TFG, and when my bud was like, yeah, he means that friendly guy. I was like, ugh, yuck.
Yeah, he's a bit.
Get out of here. But
Yeah.
hey man, play the game the way you have fun.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm not
agreed.
gonna poo poo on you. Continue to make your content. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's a bad guy, like just so we're clear, but it's just like yucky in the way, yeah.
Yeah,
When he
I
was
agree.
saying, hey, please give me a private account that I can drop loot on still, and he was like adding BSG on Twitter, I was like, if BSG does that, I will flame them and make, hour-long videos critiquing the friendly guy and BSG if they gave him a private account that he can like drop LEDXs on. Like,
Oh,
fuck out of
ew.
here with that shit.
Yeah,
Fuck out of here,
no.
bro.
No, like
Yeah, I
I
would
get the
get
idea of
popcorn to watch that video.
I get the idea of like if they wanted to do like an in-raid player run trader that you somehow could queue in for if you had this like I look at their karma system. I know we're trying to wrap up, but I look at their karma system and I like there's just so many things they could do with it that they just never did, and it's just such a shitty number. It's just, hey, you can scab more and you get more loot from your scav case, which if you can build a scav case, you really don't need more loot.
Mm-hmm.
So and if you can get high scav karma, you don't need to go in on your scab this often. So this is all irrelevant
Right.
to each other, and you can have the karma actually mean and do something, and it upsets me that it doesn't, because they talked about like being able to spawn in as boss guards at one point.
Yeah, and then that's since changed to it's going to be DLC, and what that really means is you'll never see it. It's not happening.
It's not happening, and if it does happen, it's going to be probably $15 for everybody else.
Right. And it's just going to be people spawning in, shooting the boss in the face, and leaving with the loot. Like I don't understand.
Yeah. Like, well, how do you
you're going to have
penalize it enough?
Or how do you not penalize it? How do you incentivize it? Their thing was like, if the guard lives throughout, or if the boss lives throughout the whole raid, you get a bonus. And it's like, so what? You're gonna sit there for 45 minutes and just sit there in late wipe when it's a dead raid? Really?
So
I doubt.
Somebody I loved comparing notes with early on, because I was doing the push on positive scav rep when it first came out, and I linked up with very bad scav, which we tried to play together. And then he's on Korean servers, so just like we, BSG with their stupid, like we can't play together because we're in separate countries. GG. I kind of get it, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. He went the opposite route. So I don't know if you know, he pushed down, I think he got down to like -200 or so. He got insanely low rep. Like just because that's where he would go in and just kill everybody.
Right.
But you got to be good at the game to get that low, because you have to be able to kill every scav and boss in the raid on a single run, because you're only getting you'd only get like a few scav raids a day at a certain point, because there are hours in between them.
Yeah.
So he was a very interesting one to talk to. I don't know where I'm going with this point. Like I said, I'm getting tired too. So Fear.
Well, we're all good, man. But Shouldaville, man, thank you, man. It's a pleasure. Huge fan. I appreciate what you do. Didn't think I would be able to talk to you like this, but this is really cool, man. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you continue what you're doing. Best of luck.
Course.
Nothing but love, man. Hope you reach any success that you wish to achieve, brother. And Rec, man, of course, man. And Rec, you know much I appreciate you, man. And the guys, if you made it this far in the video, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like. If you love my Hitler comments, let us know. And make sure to like the video, man. Helps out with the algorithm, so we can maybe do this full time and feed our families. Much love, guys. Appreciate all the views, all the talks with everyone here, and bye. Peace.
And Shouldaville has a YouTube channel. If you want to go check it out, there will be a.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
You're